Hello, everyone. So last Sunday we did a live for Matthew Reardon, aka Lafayette County. Tonight we're going to showcase somebody that I consider a friend. He's a gentle giant. I asked him, I'm 6'4", and I asked him, "How tall are you?" And he said, "I'm 6'6" or 6'7", somewhere in there. And he's got the voice to match. So that's who we're going to talk about tonight. Press with Rancor. All right. Now I'm Cliff, your host, and Nikki is the business partner here, and I want to make this really public. She is a partner, 50%. We're 50-50 here, so um, she has the same power as I do as far as what we do in this channel. Um, how I'm going to start is I'm going to play. I just want to let everybody know that this man moved to a small town in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And he's a big, gentle giant. He's got a really deep voice, and people are intimidated by him. He told me that when he was growing up, he towered over all the other kids. But whenever there was a bully, he intervened. He didn't really have to fight because everybody was scared of him. And a lot of people are scared of this man, and there's really no reason to be. He's very gentle. So I'm going to get into it with this first video. In this first video, he goes into a state police um, office basically to do a public records request. He's already been harassed by the state police, and that's the reason why he is doing what he's doing. So we're going to go ahead and start with this first one here. Let me present. Share screen. Hmm. There we go. Let's make it big and press play.
Hey,
Hey.
what can I do to help you?
I need some FOIA forms
For you. Okay.
and then some officer complaint forms.
Okay. So tell you what, I can direct you to.
We do want to apologize for the volume. We cannot make it any louder.
What's that?
I said I'm here now. You can
That's
get
the
me the forms.
process. If you want to,
You can print the forms out for me. I'm here
there aren't
right
any
now.
printable forms.
So you're not refusing to give me a FOIA form or an officer complaint form.
So we actually don't have those forms. They're maintained online.
And I'm here in person, and I'm requesting the forms in person.
And I'm telling you, that's where you need to get them.
I don't have access. What do you do about that?
You have a smartphone, right?
Are you refusing to give me the
No.
forms?
No, I'm giving you
Then
direction
I
where to
need
go.
you to print them out for me.
There you go. That's all I'm going to do.
Can I speak to your supervisor?
I am a supervisor.
Your supervisor.
He's currently not in.
Call him.
For what purpose?
You're refusing to give me a form.
I'm asking you for what purpose, sir.
I need a form.
Okay, you're not
Officer
complying with my
complaint
request.
Forms.
So,
You haven't made
in
a
order to make a
request.
complaint, what's your name, man? I'm trying to be decent with you.
Supervisor.
Trying to. Okay. All right.
Supervisor.
Take this. Take this, sir. I'm telling you, if you want to get a FOIA request, you're gonna have to go to this website. Okay. Right now, my supervisor is not in. Okay. So he's not going to be in for the rest of the day. If you want, you're more than welcome to come back when he's in.
I need an officer complaint form.
I've already told you. This website is where you go. I'm not going to tell you again.
I'm here in person, and I'm requesting a form.
That's fine and well. But you know what?
So,
That's not how we do business. I'm telling you, this is where you need to go. Do you understand?
I don't have access to the internet.
Yes or no? Do you understand?
I don't have access to the internet. I need a form from you guys.
Okay.
I need
Very
a
good.
paper form.
Find somebody who does have access and you can make a complaint there. Thank you.
So you're still denying me a form.
I am not denying you any access to anything.
What's your name and employee number?
Sergeant Patrick Janice, Michigan State Police. 327 is my badge number. Anything else I can help you with today?
Yes, I need to speak to your supervisor.
I've already informed you that he is currently not in. You're more than welcome to come back when he's available.
Give me his number.
No.
Give me his information.
No.
So you're refusing to help me.
What is your name, sir?
I don't answer questions.
Sir? What is your name?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. Then feel free to exit my post. Is there anything else I can help you with, sir?
I'm working.
Excuse me?
I'm working. Is this open to the public?
What does that say?
Okay.
What is your name, sir? Sir? The door. What does that say?
Have I
Authorized
breached
members.
the doorway?
Excuse me?
Have I breached the doorway?
However, there is
The
sensitive
onus is on you to shut
Excuse
it
me.
then.
I thought you'd be cordial with me, right?
You're not being
just so you
cordial
know-
with me or helpful at all.
Sir, I'm sorry
coulda
that's your
got me the
opinion. I'm
forms.
sorry that's your perception, but please, you are not giving me your name. I've given you instruction on what to do, everything like that. We don't have them here. It's maintained online. Please feel free to come back if you want to speak with my supervisor. Until then, please.
You haven't given me a name or a number to contact them.
My supervisor is First Lieutenant Greg Cunningham. You can reach him here at the office, which is online, or show up in person. Now, please, if you have nothing further, leave my post.
You're still muted, Cliff. And King Bluto, if you notice, a lot of our auditors and activists are actually going in and requesting the form. They do get told, hey, it's online. But a lot of the people are asking, what if I don't have access? Unfortunately, the answer a lot of times is the same as what this officer said. was go find somebody who has access online. But we, as activists and auditors, are trying to make the offices have the actual paper form rather than just say, oh, it's online. This officer also said, well, the information for making an officer complaint is online, even though he was told, I don't have online access. So that is something that we're all trying to change.
Well, and the thing of it is it's already in most states a state law that you can do it in person, and that they have to have the forms. A lot of time in Oklahoma, for example, when you show up and ask for public records, they have to get it to you immediately. You don't have to wait. Um, so, but what I was going to say here, so well said though, Nikki. Yeah, we need to make sure that they are complying with um, the the law, and because there are a lot of people out there that can't get access. Homeless people, for instance, they would have to go to a library, and a lot of times they don't even allow the homeless in the library. They'll kick them out because they stink or whatever. And some cities let them get away with it. You know, you can't go into public buildings if you have odor. They're doing that in Sheridan, Colorado. So um, they can deny you access, not legally, but they do it. So that's what we're trying to stop here. But what I was going to say is, can everybody tell that this state trooper is scared to death? Put a one in the chat if you think he's scared, because I do. Let me see. Does anybody agree with me? Thank you, Claire. Put a two if you don't agree with me. But yeah, I think he's scared to death. All right, we'll continue here.
This is how you do business, huh?
Sir, I've been nothing but compliant with you.
No, you did not give me the forms I asked for. What's that junk you got in there?
Excuse me?
This. Oh yeah, that's garbage.
I agree, Tammy Lynn.
Right, I'll be back,
Very good.
and I'm going to request
What's
the
your name,
forms
sir?
again.
So, what's your name, sir, so I can help you?
I don't answer questions.
Very good. Take care. Have a nice day.
Are you threatening me?
How is have a nice day threatening?
You're in my personal space.
I'm escorting you out of the building,
Escorting me. Why is that?
just in case you wanted to know where it is.
Where what? The door?
Very good.
This door?
Okay. Thank you.
That door? So you're done threatening me now?
What's that?
Are you done threatening me now?
In what way, shape, or form have I threatened you?
You just got in my personal space. Said you were escorting me out
I'm
of the
sorry.
building.
That's your perception, sir. Have a good day.
And one more time, you're denying to give me them forms, huh?
Sir, I've explained it to you 3 or 4 times what you need to do.
I don't
I'm
need
sorry
to
that you
get
do not
on a
understand.
website
But,
to get the forms.
excuse me?
They should be accessible to the public. You've got other shit over here, right? You got these stupid stickers,
Sir?
but you don't have the forms.
Sir?
Now you're pointing a pen at me? What is that?
I'm working.
What are you going to do with the pen?
Sir, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, please leave my post. At this point, okay? Please leave. I'm not going to tell you again.
Are you asking or telling me? You're being very confusing here.
Right now, I'm asking you to leave. Please leave. Come back when my supervisor's here. All right?
Well, why don't I just wait here for him to show up? He's going to be back
I've
sooner or
advised
later,
you
right?
twice, sir, that he is not in the day. All right? We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. We
It is
are
Friday.
excuse me?
It is Friday.
Correct. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
Yes.
So please, he's not here right now. If you wish to speak with him, come back on another day. Thank you.
It's a no form.
Sir, how many times do I have to explain this?
Explain what? The form should be
We're going
right
around in
here.
circles, all right?
Right
We're
here.
going around in circles, right?
right here for me to
Sir.
access. I shouldn't have to speak to a supervisor. I shouldn't have to tell you my business.
It's on that on that sticky note that you crumpled up. Where is it?
It's in my pocket.
Okay. Go online. You'll be better assisted over there. All right. Thank
I
you.
already told you I don't have access to the internet. And I requested a paper form. And you're
You're
still
asking me-
denying me
Sir,
the
you're
form.
asking questions that you want specific answers to.
No, I want a
However,
form.
I'm
I
telling
want
you,
two forms.
sir, I'm telling
I
you
want a FOIA,
how to get it,
FOIA
but you're not
form,
allowing me to explain it. Would you like me to
and
explain
an
it?
officer complaint / accommodation form. They should be accessible to the public at all police posts.
That's not the case.
Not here. So I'm curious why.
Sir, I'm
And I
asking
am
you
working.
again for the fourth
This
time.
is a public
I'm
lobby.
asking you to leave. Okay?
This is a public lobby. Why are you asking me to leave?
Why? Because you're not complying. at this
Complying
point.
with what? You asking me to
At
leave?
least because you're being hostile for one.
How am I
Two,
being hostile? You're
disrespectful.
threatening me.
Okay, with what and how?
You just got in my personal space, told me to leave, told me you're escorting me out. You pointed a pin at me
All right, sir,
aggressively.
please leave my post. I'm not going to ask you again.
See, that's another threat. I will leave because obviously you're unstable.
I'm
But
sorry,
I
that's
will
your
be
perception.
back.
Very good.
And you guys should have those forms available to the public.
That's not how we do business. And as I've tried to explain to you, you won't let me.
Obviously, that's not how you do business here, but that's how it's supposed to be done.
Okay, I'm sorry that's your perception, but that's not how we do
No,
business.
that's not my perception.
Very good. We'll see you next
How
week.
come I can go to another post, get the forms with no problem, right out in the
post?
public?
Which post?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, we do the
I
same
just picked
thing
up
every
forms in
post.
Escanaba.
That's the city police department. This is the
Yes,
state police.
Right. It doesn't
which
matter.
We have
They
different
should
posts.
be
We have
available.
30 posts throughout the district.
Yes, and there's
or at
more
least
fucking
throughout the
state
state.
posts that do things the right way.
Sir, please, I'm asking you to leave.
I know you're asking me, but I have not broken a law, have I? I'm working.
You're working. What
Yes.
is your employment?
Right now,
You haven't given me a name.
I'm press.
You haven't given me a name.
I'm working on a
Alright.
story.
You want to at least get a Freedom of Information Act request. You want to compile, or at least make an officer complaint. I'm trying to give you directions on how to do that. You're being less than compliant with me, so sir, if you want to come back next
You're
week.
asking me to
Thank you.
comply by leaving.
I actually have
because
plenty
I'm
of things to be taking
bothering
care of
you?
and busy. All right,
You could be getting me the forms.
sir. They're maintained online. I don't know how much more
Exactly.
specific.
So why
I
don't
can
you
be.
get online and print the forms out
That's
for
because
me?
there aren't any printable forms. It's all online submission. Do you understand that?
No, I do not.
Okay, very good. Look it up online with a phone that you may be able to, or a desktop computer. Okay, that way you can review them yourself. It's the same throughout the entire state of Michigan at every single post.
No, it's not.
Okay, Freedom of Information Act is actually maintained, or at least these requests are maintained in Lansing. Okay, you can actually file those through our website. You
Right,
can make an
but
officer
I don't
complaint
need
online.
to file them through the website.
Sir, right now, I've explained everything. I've exhausted my efforts with you. That's it. That's where
More
we
threats?
are at. What's that?
More threats? Let's hear them.
I'm done. Thank you. Have a good day.
Right. Let's see what you're busy doing.
Sir, this is sensitive information back here.
I'm
You are
not looking at your computer at all.
Okay, but still, I'm telling you that you are not allowed to record any of this information back here.
Am I recording it?
You tell me. You're holding your phone in a position where you would be recording.
The onus
That's
is on
fine.
you
You're more than welcome to do that in the lobby.
to make sure
However,
that
you're
no
not allowed to
sensitive
go past
information
this area.
is
You're not
available
allowed
to
to
the
go in
public.
there,
I am
okay?
standing in
But
a
I'm just
public
telling you
place.
right now that
Anything
if
I
you-
can see from public, I can record.
Sir, you
So
okay,
you should not have any sensitive information out for the public to see.
sir.
So that-
Respectfully, thank you for coming in, but we're done. Thank you.
Another blackguard at work. Refusing service. Not here to serve and protect. That's for sure. Since you're not going to give me a FOIA form, how about you tell me what you make a year? Since that's one of the things I'm going to request.
It's online.
840880 hourly check. Clear.
You can just see how uncomfortable that officer is. Hmm. He's pretending to do something in the computer.
I'll be leaving now.
Very good.
Mr. Sauer?
Yeah, Larry, I believe that, he was very uncomfortable, and he was pissed that this big giant guy isn't listening to his quote unquote lawful orders to leave the post. And because the big giant guy is so much bigger than him, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't go hands on because he was afraid of basically getting his ass beat, probably.
Yeah, he was dealing with a real man. He's dealing with a real man that's not going to take unlawful directives, and he knows they're unlawful directives. He knows he has a right to be in that public area and film, and he has a right to services. If he wants a complaint form, you need to give him one, and if he wants a FOIA request form, you need to give him one. These are laws, and I believe they're laws in Michigan. If somebody wants to look that up and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are.
Tammy Lynn did.
Did you?
And yes, I
See, we
I
got some
popped it up on the
smart people in
screen.
here. We got some excellent smart people in here. I'm telling you. And most of the people that come into this channel are going to be that way because they realize what our goal is here. And we're going to get into that on Sunday. We're going to talk about what our goals are in this channel. Okay, so the next one, you guys are going to love this because he does come back. He said he would, and he did. And let me know in the chat if you see an attitude change. Let's go ahead and press play, make it big.
Sorry about that. What can I do for you today?
Identify yourself.
Okay, what can I do for you today?
Identify yourself.
Sergeant Chase.
Employee
Say,
number.
please.
Employee number.
Well, my badge number is 327.
Okay.
What
I
can I
need
do
to
for you
speak to
today?
your supervisor.
He's not in today. Would you like to schedule an appointment?
What are his hours?
So they vary week to week, but if you want to speak with him, I can give him your name and contact information.
Does he not work 40 hours a week?
He does, but he has other requirements and things like that he has to attend
When will he be available?
If you leave me your name and number, you can schedule a meeting with him if you like, depending on what it's about.
I'm not leaving my name and number with you
Okay.
because now I need to speak to him about not only another employee's conduct, but yours as well.
Okay. Sure. All right. Tell you what, I can only at least schedule an appointment, at least if you want to give me your name and number. That way,
I have
you
not
can make
given
an
you
arrangement to meet
my
with
name
him and
and
everything
number.
like that.
I'm going to request a FOIA form
You want one?
and an officer complaint form.
Okay. I
would
can
like
give
you to
them
print them out.
Yeah, I actually got them now.
You must have got a talking to.
So here you go. One of them, so this is for a FOIA form, and the other is an officer complaint form. I have to take this phone call real quick. Michigan State Police Sergeant Janae. Okay.
AKY reacts. Yep. Completely different attitude. Hey, Bill. Good to see you.
Okay. Do you remember who you spoke with? I'm sorry.
To Angel.
What was that?
Good to see you.
Okay. You reported that on Friday?
Oklahoma Outlaw Audits. Always good to have you, brother.
Guys, I pinned Press with Rancor's GoFundMe link. It's in the pinned message. He is still trying to raise funds for his legal fees.
Yeah, we're going to show a video of why he needs legal fees paid for here, too. You guys are going to be really upset by it if you haven't already seen it. Hey, Daisy May.
All right.
You're right. Auditing is making a difference every day.
Okay. Very good. Have a good day.
But our guys are
I'm
paying
gonna
the
need
price
to
for it.
couple
Our
more of
auditors.
those officer complaint forms.
How many do you need?
How many do you have?
I can make copies.
Let's start with 5. And then having them is a start, but why aren't they available?
You know, I'm sorry, with the air conditioning going on, what's that?
I said having them is a start, but why aren't they available?
Because I don't have space available on that wall there.
And then because I was refused last time, I've written out some requests for FOIA information here.
Okay.
I would
You
like
can
you
actually
to,
address it with that FOIA request form that I gave you.
I will use this one separately.
What's that?
I'll use this one separately.
Okay. Let me just make these copies and we'll address that later. So we got copies of the officer complaint forms. What can I do for you now?
I would like you to make a copy of that after it's stamped with the time and
What's
date.
that?
I would like you to make a copy of this after it's been time stamped and dated. You were required to take Freedom of Information requests
Right.
in any form. I could write it on a tissue. As long as it's in writing. And you were required to take officer complaint forms, both verbally or in writing. Last time I was in here, you did not offer to do either.
Okay. So your information is not on here. If you're requesting the information, how will they get a hold of you?
After you timestamp and date it, I will give you an email.
Okay. Well, I'm going to check my stamper, see if it actually works.
Yeah, because he's never used it. Can everybody see that officer's hand shaking? Let me know if it's just me or is are his hands shaking?
This thing is so ancient. It's not working right now. Is it sufficient that I write at least today's date, time?
Yes, put your signature on it
Yeah,
as well.
sure.
You guys notice who's in control of the conversation today? This officer needs to be a little bit uncomfortable.
What's today's date? Just so that we both are on the same page.
August
August
19th.
19th, 2022. And what time do you have right now?
Can you read the clock from where you're sitting?
Can you say that one more time? It's hard to hear.
Can you read the clock from where you're sitting?
I need you to verify it for me just so that way we have it. It's timestamped and everything like that. So we're on the same page is all. But I see 2:37.
As soon as he turns and looks at him again, and that's when he says it.
Can you confirm that time for me?
2:37.
If it's okay with you, I actually have just address, Michigan State Police, Our address, is that all right for you? At least to stamp that with it as well? Okay.
My concern now is, since I was,
Excuse me 1 second. Michigan State Police Sergeant Janice.
So, having seen the first video when he came in the first time, um, and how he treated him, do you think this officer deserves this treatment from Press with Rancor? Um, I think so. I would put a 1 in the chat. In fact, I'm going to put a 1 in the chat. But if there's anybody that disagrees, you can disagree. So put a 2 in the chat if you don't think that this officer deserves the treatment that he's getting. Well, okay, Brandon, thank you. No 2s? Oklahoma audits. All right, Angry Vet said he hasn't seen enough. Hopefully you saw the first video, because this guy was really rude, tried to get him out of there, wouldn't give him any FOIA forms or complaint forms at all. And he was just rude and kept trying to get him out of there. And Press with Rancor said, I'll be back. And I think he came back a couple of weeks later after they received a bunch of calls. And so this time he's complying with everything that Press with Rancor wants. And in the first video, it was you're not complying, you need to leave. So it's completely changed.
Stephanie, we all know that, the 2 was just a Freudian slip. Although, I don't know, maybe you would agree with Tammy Lynn.
Yeah, if you
It
guys disagree,
could
tell
be
me
worse,
why.
in my opinion,
Yeah,
is what Tammy Lynn said.
tell me why
And
that you disagree too, because I need to know when there's people that disagree with my assessment. I want to know about it, because I want to know how to fix it. Because I could be wrong. I mean, I don't think I am, but I can change my opinions on things if there's a good enough argument.
and Mr. Stanlawful, also known as Wanda Mize, I like that nervous condition. I think that maybe more people need to suffer from rancoritis.
Rancoritis, I love that. And just so everybody knows, his voice is kind of soft because he's had some medical issues. In fact, I've been trying to get him in chat for actually texting for the last week or so, and I haven't got a return text, so I'm hoping he's okay. But I wanted to let him know I was doing this, so and I hope he contacts me soon, and I'll give you guys an update. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for the information. Okay. You want me to make a copy of this so we have it?
so I have a copy. You keep the
Michigan
original.
State Police Sergeant Janice. You need a copy? Do you want me to have the original, or do you want the copy?
You keep the original.
Okay. Here's your copy. I'll take the original. All right. Anything else I can do for you today?
As I was saying, my concern now is, since I was refused service last time I was here, I'm not sure if you guys have deleted video and audio
No,
recordings.
no.
Okay.
If you make those requests, they're available.
Okay, that'll be it.
So let me ask you this, sir. So you're gonna, just so we're on the same page, you're gonna be making an officer complaint. What exactly would you like me to do with this form that you gave me today? Just turn it into my post commander, or what would you like me to do with it?
The Freedom of Information request.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Well, I can, at least in terms of maintain a record. Go from there, but I just want to make sure that at least your request is being satisfied at this point.
Do with it what you are obligated to do.
Okay. All right, very good. Anything else I can help you with today? Sorry. Michigan State Police Sergeant Janice. With who? Marquette Bank? Okay. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
He does, Brandon.
Okay. 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 I mean, really, whatever it takes to cover up the boxes, and we send them back. I mean, this is my first, at least time experience in that, or whatever works. Just text. Is that? Okay. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. No. Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. Yeah, at least a 4x6 should be sufficient enough, but I think what Cheryl was looking for is just the paper, correct? I think for the labels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yep, that's a standard label. Yep. Yeah. I thought you were talking about something different. But no, we should be good. Mm. Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. Appreciate it. All right. Take care. So,
I get a sticky note and a pen.
you want a sticky note and a pen?
Yes,
Sure.
to give you that email.
Give you an email, or give me an email.
Yeah, you know the thing we just talked about.
And this is your email? Send it to. Okay. All right, anything else I can do for you?
That's it.
What's that?
That's it.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Big Wireless.
Well, that was definitely a good turnaround. And yeah, when he asked anything else I can do for you, polish my shoes, please. That's a good remark, Stephanie.
Yeah, and the guy probably would have too. He was so scared of him. And the guy is, like I said, he's very he's a gentle giant, 6'6", gentle giant, soft spoken, doesn't talk a lot. I think he makes a great auditor because he's stoic, and I think great auditors at times need to be very stoic and not mirror the attitude that they're getting with attitude. He doesn't mirror. He just does what he does. So this next one here that I'm going to show is more intimidation tactics by the state police of Michigan. They've been harassing him, and this is the reason why he's doing this auditing. It's a small town that he moved into, and the whole town basically, it's kind of like, does anyone remember First Blood? It's kind of like that. This big guy comes into town, this army guy with a green fatigue jacket, and the cops want him out of their town, and the people want him want him gone or whatever. It reminds me of Press with Rancor. So I'm going to go ahead and play this short. So let me go back over here to present, and it's just a short one. You guys, if you want to, go to his channel and watch the long version because it's very, very interesting how this all goes down. All right, ID refusal.
The angry vet, I'm not sure. Cliff, do you know if Press with Rancor is a vet also?
He's not. He's not. He's always had some. I think he told me it was his feet that kept him out. But yeah, no, he's a cool guy. I really like him. He was the guy that took care of bullies in grade school without ever having to fight. All right, so let's get this one in here. And like I said, this is just a short that I'm going to play. We'll make it big here first. I want to make it big. There we go. And I hope everybody can see this. Just go ahead and play it.
Get that out of my face. What? Get your light out of my face.
I'm just gonna shine it down here. I gotta see what you're doing, okay? So you're free to leave.
I need his card.
If you want to if you want to file a complaint, you can
Give
go
me a
tomorrow.
card.
You have any questions for us?
Take that. You can get it. I insist you fucking read that.
You have any questions for us?
Fuck off.
Okay, you're all set. Have a good night.
Fuck off.
So, guys, I believe that was Pocket Constitution. And he wouldn't let the one officer take both of them. He says, "No, that one's not for you. That's for him. He can get it." I love it. All right, so this next video that I'm going to show is his arrest, and this is and the charges are felonies. Um, his attorney cost $30,000, and you're going to be shocked by what these charges are, and you're going to be shocked by this video. Now, it's quite a long video, um, but I think it's worth it for you guys to really understand because it's going to show him being processed and booked in jail too. And so you're going to get, for the first time, you're going to get, if you haven't seen this already, you're going to get to see this giant. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and present this one. And play.
Now come another step forward or you'll be arrested for obstructing. I apologize. Oh, wait, you took another step forward, sir. Therefore, you're under arrest right now for obstructing. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, sir.
How am I obstructed?
Put your hands behind your back, sir.
I'm not
Do
resisting.
not reach for anything. Put your other hand behind your back. You're under arrest right now for obstructing. We'll get your license in a second, sir. Tough one.
Today we're looking at the case versus Press with Rancor being pushed by the Michigan District Attorney's Office. And we're going to read the Michigan Penal Code based on obstruction of an officer in their official duties in Michigan. The Michigan Penal Code, Act 328 of 1931. 750.479, resisting or obstructing officer in discharge of duty, penalty definitions. A person shall not knowingly and willingly do any of the following: assault, batter, wound, obstruct, or endanger a medical examiner, township treasurer, judge, magistrate, probation officer, parole officer, prosecutor, city attorney, city employee, court officer, or other officer, or duly authorized person serving or attempting to serve or execute any process, rule, or order made or issued by lawful authority or otherwise acting in the performance of his or her duties. 1B. Assault, batter, wound, obstruct, or endanger an officer enforcing an ordinance, law, rule, order, or resolution of the Common Council of a City Board of Trustees, the Common Council or Village Council of an incorporated village or township board of a township. Sounds like they're just protecting themselves constantly. 2. Except as provided in subsections 3, 4, and 5, a person who violates this section is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 2 years or a fine or not more than $2,000 or both. 3. A person who violates this section and by violation causes bodily injury requiring medical attention or medical care to an individual described in the section is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 4 years or a fine or not more than $5,000 or both. 4. A person who violates this section and by violation causes serious impairment of a body function of an individual described in this section is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 10 years or a fine of more than $10,000 or both. 5. A person who violates this section and by that violation causes the death of an individual described in this section is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 20 years or a fine of not more than $20,000 or both. 6. This section does not prohibit an individual from being discharged with, convicted of, or punished for any of other violations of law that is committed by the individual while violating this section. 7. The court may order a term of imprisonment for a violation of this section to be served consecutively to any other term of imprisonment imposed for a violation arising out of the same criminal transaction as the violation of this section. 8. As used in this section, 8A, obstruct, includes the use of threatened use of physical interference or force or a knowing failure to comply with a lawful command. 8B, Serious impairment of a body function means the term defined in Section 58C of the Michigan Vehicle Code, 1949 PA 300 MCL 257.58C.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in.
We've had it up to 80 million so far.
Thank you. I will be right back with you guys, okay?
All right.
That's close enough right there, sir. Sir, that's close enough. Right there. That's close enough right there. That is close enough right there.
What do you say?
I said that's close enough. Go back to where you were standing when I first told you that's close enough. No, going back up, please. I completely understand that. Stay right there. Do not take another step forward. I'll explain it to you in a minute. Sir, I just told you don't take another step forward.
You do not tell me what to do.
Yes, you can, because you're starting to interfere with my traffic stop.
Interference is a physical act.
I told you not to take another step forward, sir.
Interference is a physical act.
If I take another step forward, that is a physical. If I take another step forward, that is interfering with it. Do you understand that?
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am sure. What's that? I didn't hear what you said. Can you get that flash out of my face, sir? No. Take that back, please. Sir, I told you to take a step back up there. Do you understand that order? Sir, do you understand that? Sir, I told you to take a step back up there. Do you understand that order? No, not yet. Sir, do you understand the order where I told you to stop up there?
What gives you the right to take the
What's that?
What gives you the right to take
Once you start interfering in my traffic stop, then I have the right to give you an order.
Physical act.
I told you to stop right up there.
Interference is a physical act.
I told you to stop up there.
How am I interfering?
I told you to stop up there.
I don't care what you told me. I asked
That
you
is a lawful order, sir.
How is it a lawful order?
Because you're interfering with this traffic stop.
How am I interfering?
You are taking my attention away from them, which are lawfully detained.
Away from
No, you do not.
Oh, yes.
No, you do not.
Yes.
Sir, if you do not go back up there where I told you to stop, you will be arrested for obstructing.
Okay, I'll give you one step.
No, back to where I told you, sir. Sir, if you do not go back up there, you will be arrested for obstructing.
I'm ready to go.
Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. No, 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 no. That is not where I told you, sir. Right up there. Right up there. Sir, where I told you.
You did not tell me where.
Sir, this is your last warning. You will be arrested for obstructing. Go stand up by your vehicle.
It's a physical act.
Sir, go stand up by your vehicle.
You do not tell me where to.
Sir, you are interfering in my traffic stop, therefore you obstructing. I'm giving you a lawful order to go up to your vehicle. This is your last warning before you're obstructed. Before you're arrested for obstructing.
Okay, so under threat of arrest.
Sir, I already explained it to you.
Under threat of arrest, right?
That is the consequence. That is the consequence of your actions.
Of my actions.
Yes, sir.
So if I do not comply with you telling me to step back, you are going to arrest me for obstruction.
Yes, sir. Do you understand that?
I don't. No,
What's that?
Don't.
What don't you understand about it?
Where you get off saying I'm obstructing?
I don't get off anyway, sir. I'm doing my duty right now. Sir, return to your vehicle.
Obstruction is a physical.
Sir, return to your vehicle.
Are you aware of what prior restraint means?
What's that?
Prior restraint.
I don't understand the question.
Do you know what prior restraint is?
I don't understand the question.
So no, you do not?
Do you understand my orders that I'm giving you right now?
Your orders.
Stay right there, sir. Do not come another step forward or you'll be arrested for obstructing. I apologize. Oh, wait, you took another step forward, sir. Therefore, you're under arrest right now for obstructing. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, sir.
How am I obstructing?
Put your hands behind your back, sir.
I'm not resisting.
Do not reach for anything. Put your other hand behind your back. You're under arrest right now for obstructing. We'll get your license in a second, sir. Cuff him.
You are aware that obstruction is a physical act, right?
You took another step forward, sir. That is physical.
No, obstruction is a physical act. You do not tell me where to stand while I'm filming. I have every right to film you.
It is an issue when you interfere with my traffic stop, sir.
I want to speak to the supervisor.
Okay.
Get his palms closer together.
Resistance.
No, I'm fit.
I'm not resisting.
Keep that hand right there.
So you guys are both aware that obstruction is a physical act.
You took another step forward, sir. That is physical.
Physically obstructing you. I can take your attention away from you. I'm allowed to be here because I'm a free citizen.
You're right. You are free, sir, but now you're being arrested.
For what?
I already told you, obstructing.
And how am I obstructing?
Took my attention away from the traffic stop. You also disobeyed a lawful order.
How is taking your attention?
You have their licenses?
Obstructing. How is it obstructing?
Are they clear?
Couldn't get return on the vehicle.
Okay.
You both state laws, right?
Okay, let's go, sir. I apologize about that, folks. We'll get your license back to you in a second, okay? Fine, show 849. Warning, custody obstructing. Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me or stick me, sir?
I have a pocket knife right there.
Okay.
I'm still requesting your supervisor.
He's not coming to this,
before
sir.
you make a mistake.
I'm not making a mistake.
Are we going to go along with this story? Can I get you and you going along with this story?
Sir, remove your cell phone from your hand, okay?
No.
Yes.
Any searches?
That is fine.
Of myself or my property. Of myself or my property. I do not consent.
You get a toll for a white Toyota pickup, jeans. What are you reaching for, sir?
Looking where my keys are.
All right. Well, your vehicle is getting towed. Go and step in the car for me.
No.
Yes.
First of all, why would I be in the front seat? And
Because that's how we transport people. He's not coming here.
Where's your supervisor?
Get in the vehicle, sir.
For what crime?
What's that? Because you're under arrest. Get in the vehicle.
For what crime am I under arrest?
Get in the vehicle.
I need it said.
Sir, you're going to get more charges if you
I will get in the vehicle once you tell me what I'm being arrested for.
Obstructing.
Okay, obstructing. Obstructing.
I'm not here to argue it, sir. Get in the vehicle.
That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Get your
How do you think this is supposed to work?
Get in the vehicle. Get in the vehicle for me completely.
Yeah, you got a lot of shit here, so.
Yes, sir, we do. We have a lot of equipment.
Yeah, well.
You have the seatbelt on.
You guys aware of what the prison is?
Central 792, copy.
What's your
1
name?
out of range.
My name is Super Tardif. My badge number is 851.
In range.
Tard what?
Tardif. Yes,
With
sir.
a D?
Yes, sir.
Tardif.
Yes, sir.
IF?
Yes, sir. 2
Okay.
F's.
And once again, you're refusing?
What's that?
You're refusing?
What am I refusing? He will be notified of this incident, but he is not coming out to this traffic stop, sir.
Delta County.
I need you to lean back for me so
Pickup,
we can secure your seatbelt.
2,500 cash for surety.
How am I gonna do that with my arms behind my fucking
It
back?
states the original was a felony for weapons offense,
That's
but the
fucking real
remarks
smart.
state
Sir,
also
please stop
charged with
swearing.
operating license
Fuck you.
suspended, revoked, or
Don't tell me to
denied.
fucking stop swearing. I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
That's not
You
very
already
polite of
fucked
you,
up
sir.
tonight.
He's also
You don't realize that?
That's not very
You
polite, of you,
just
sir.
fucking violated my constitutional rights.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
Sorry, Tina.
Sir, is that a hate crime by calling me a racial or by calling me a slur?
You think that'll hold up?
That's 519 Sound Check.
Put your knee in so I don't hit it, please. Okay, very cool.
Where's my phone? Where's my property? Where's my phone?
I have it, sir.
Over at the airport.
Do not
Did you grab that?
Yes. Go up there and get that back to him, please.
You can show me credit.
Sir, do you want your phone with you?
Yes.
Copy 3.
Give me my fucking phone.
I have it with me, sir. I am not going to go through it.
Yeah, I believe. You realize you're using your qualified immunity right now, right?
How would I do that, sir, by making a lawful arrest?
No, this is an unlawful arrest because we both know that interference is a physical act. I cannot be interfering by simply standing there and filming you. You arresting me for filming? That's prior restraint, motherfucker.
No, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. You just fucking violated my First Amendment right.
I'll put that back in the vehicle for me, please.
You know I'm right, don't
What's
you?
Yes, sir.
So, are you gonna get your supervisor out here? Ask some reasonable fucking questions about what you did wrong?
He's not coming out here, sir.
Feeling pretty good, you little smug prick, aren't you?
Why are you calling me names?
I call it as I see it. You're
Yeah?
a smug little prick. You
I
think
like
you're
that.
fucking smart. Your breath smells like fucking ass from chewing on that shit.
You don't like that smell?
Like fucking stale ass. The fuck you sucking on besides tobacco?
It's not very nice of you, sir, to suggest that.
I suggest that you fucking call somebody that knows the law.
You have your keys on you?
I don't answer questions. Guys are making one hell of a lawsuit. You just arrested me for filming you.
No, sir, there's other reasons.
No, you just said that by filming you,
I did not say that. You put words
I was
in my
interfering
mouth.
with your stop.
You did not say that.
Because I didn't listen to you and step back or go to my vehicle? What, not film
That is
altogether
a
because you don't
lawful
want me to
order,
film?
sir. I don't mind if you film.
Oh, yeah. Bullshit. Dude, your breath really does fucking stink. So don't breathe on me.
Try not
Put your
to.
fucking window down or something.
Your window is down.
Yeah, put yours down.
I'm not going
The
to
shit
right
smell is
now.
not coming from me. It's coming from you. You got a supervisor yet?
I already told you
Hey,
no.
Lamach. I'm requesting the supervisor.
Central 74 for a partial.
He's not coming out here, so.
Go ahead.
All right.
Crystal
So
Guard.
you're in cahoots with
approximately
Cardiff
40.
here, huh?
Copy. Central 784, copy file.
Good.
Crystal Lee Guard, 11-9 of 79, OSC, suspended.
Fuck are you doing, man?
Stevenson.
I'm working right now.
Doesn't look like it.
No?
No, you better get your shit moving.
Why?
I ain't got all night.
No,
You know these charges are being dropped, and then I'm gonna fucking sue you.
that's fine.
So let's get this shit moving.
We gotta wait to tow your vehicle.
South 19th Street, 1 Lincoln.
Where's the supervisor?
It's not coming out. I told you that. Please put your foot down, sir.
Dude, this place is cramped enough.
I get that. Put your foot down, please.
I can't.
Why not?
Took too much effort getting up here, man.
Don't break anything. It's another charge.
Did I fucking break anything?
I just warned you.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm not. I'm telling you the consequences of your actions.
Oh, you're threatening me.
No.
Just shut the fuck up,
No.
bitch. Hey, Lamont, you call supervisor?
Approximately 42.
$84.33 from 9. You might come to the stop, wait on the vehicle till Jeans gets here. So go to the.
I need a supervisor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've been kidnapped.
You're not being kidnapped.
Yeah.
By a granny grape. Don't worry about it. Just hang tight till they get here.
How many people are you charged with interference here?
Me?
Tired.
I don't know. I don't keep track.
Go ahead. I think you'll remember this
Central
one.
3. I might have a line for you.
Yeah, shut your door all the way there again.
I have a Garrett Douglas Williams, 1-1 of 81. Is that who you have?
Right. I think that's the only one.
Copy. Central 784, copy 10-9.
Good.
He has one extraditable 10-9 out of Isabella.
Can you scoot over, sir? I don't want you touching me.
I don't want you touching me either.
You're touching
Well, look
me.
what you did.
What do you mean?
You just assaulted me and put me in handcuffs.
You're not
now you're
assaulting
kidnapping me.
I'm not kidnapping you.
The fuck you ain't.
Stop touching me, please.
Stop touching me, you fuck.
Look
Move
where my
over.
arm is. I can't move over any further.
I can't move over any further.
Yes, you can. You weren't touching me when I got in here. Do you understand what I want you to do? Is that a no?
More threats?
No.
What are you going to do to me?
I just asked you to move over.
How
I
the
don't want
fuck
you
can I
touching
move
me.
over, asshole?
What's that?
How can I move over, asshole?
You weren't touching me a second ago.
Yeah, I just watched you put your.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, look at me. I'm really fucking trying here, aren't I,
You're not
asshole?
touching me.
You weren't sitting
Shut
like
up.
that before, so.
Got a supervisor coming?
Nope. Nah. Sign Shelley for a night. We're out of DCJ.
Oh, 9, just coming to radio. Is that car going to be there then?
Hey, firm, he's just getting uncooperative. Gotta leave.
Oh, now I'm being uncooperative. You got your camera on?
Yes, sir, it is.
Good. Let's see how I'm being uncooperative.
You don't be there, 9, 2 are you available right now?
Touching you too much? Because I'm fucking.
Well, that's called assault, sir. The unwanted touching of someone.
Yeah, exactly what you did to me.
Well, we have to when we place under someone under arrest.
Unlawful arrest.
No.
Oh, yes.
Disobeyed a lawful
I don't
order.
fucking have to obey you.
Yes, sir, you do.
Especially when you tell me where the fuck to stand.
That was a
This is
lawful
a
order,
free
sir.
country.
That was a lawful order.
No, you little bitch. You're gonna learn in court. Yeah, you're wrong.
I disagree.
Received 291 abandoned calls. Female crying in the background. You can hear a male in the background. Trying to get an exact location. We have no past history with a phone number. It's plotting at 1513 28th Avenue. For the latitude longitude, it's plotting at 1505 at 1505 28th Avenue.
But your last chance to get a supervisor.
No, sir, I don't have to.
Oh, yeah, why's that? Because you're a cop. You do what you want, right?
No, sir, it's not in our official orders and it's not what's in the law, so I'm not going to get you a supervisor. It's not needed. Be wasting his time.
Hey, service, go to apartment 3, taking a third-party call from a neighboring apartment.
Special 493.
Have a nice.
I'm clear, wife, and don't you call. Can you get the location?
1505 28th Avenue, 1505 28th Avenue, apartment 3.
Copy.
This game, you're not ready for it.
How can I help you?
It's the state. I have one male in custody for obstructing.
Again, how am I obstructing?
I already explained it to you, sir, several times.
Because I didn't step back? Is that,
Gave you a lawful order.
No, you did not.
Yes,
you do
I
not
did,
even
sir.
understand what lawful means. When I am
Do you?
going to a fucking
Do
stop
you?
doing my job,
That's your job.
yes,
Okay.
I'm press.
Okay.
Means I
press
have the
underneath
right to
of-
fucking film you. And when you tell me where to stand, that's called prior restraint.
No, sir.
And when I refuse to do it and you arrest me, that's a illegal arrest.
No, sir,
That's
it's
unlawful
not.
arrest.
No, sir,
Yes.
it's not.
We'll see in court, won't we?
I think we will.
I think we will. You smug little piece of shit.
That night, just left to go to his property.
Oh, you got it still?
Yeah, his truck's locked. Unlock it.
All right, I'm going to this property here then. I'll give you his cell phone, then I'll unbuckle him and you can get him out. Watch your arm, sir. I'm gonna unbuckle you.
You really gotta do something about that fucking halitosis. I don't know how you put up with that shit.
Can you step out for me, sir? Can you grab me my, hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Sorry, it's not.
Go in that room right to your left there, sir.
Right there.
Right in the room there.
Don't fucking touch me.
Right on that bench.
You don't have to assault me.
Go ahead.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna search you real quick.
I did not consent to any searches or seizures. Want that on the record.
Okay, body camera's active, but I have to search you before I bring you inside.
Well, now you know. You're aware.
Okay.
Piece of shit.
Anything on you that's gonna stick, stab, poke me, anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of.
What's this?
Go ahead, dude.
Keep your hands off my dick, too.
I'm not gonna try and grab it. Okay. Anything in your back pockets? Can you kick your shoes off for me? If I take those cuffs off, are you gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be fine. These guys fucked up. Unlawful arrest, they did shit. Oh yeah, we'll see.
No. Can you release your hand, please?
I'm not fucking holding them. She looking at you, killer.
Looking
Got
at you.
something to say?
Nothing.
Let's hear it.
I got nothing to say. I
Come
just
on,
told you
killer.
that.
Let's hear it.
I told you.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Go ahead and take a seat, please.
Thank you.
And take that off phone, please. Yes, sir. Your sensors as well, please.
So I got him.
Got a shirt on if I can see.
T-shirt.
It's pretty warm inside.
Look. I'm not under.
You need your keys for the tow.
So now you're stealing the vehicle also?
It's getting towed.
My house keys and my wallet in there.
Okay.
You guys are really fucking me over.
No.
Oh, yes.
You gotta listen to him.
Yes, you just fucking.
It's not up for
violated
debate.
my rights.
It's not up for debate.
String out of your sweatshirt, please.
Thank you guys. Cocksuckers. Doesn't come out.
Okay.
What do you want? Cut it out?
I'm either gonna have to cut it out or I'm gonna have to take your sweatshirt.
You got other clothes for me to wear?
I have oranges that I can give you.
You give me some.
I'll chain you out in front and inside. Can I please just have your sweatshirt?
Man, you guys are really fucking working for it. Nothing to say, killer?
I got nothing to say to you.
You look like you got something to say.
Nothing. You got strings on your sweatpants too.
No shit.
You can't have those.
Yeah. You want to see my dick while you're at it, you faggot?
Really?
No. Really fucking fishing. Not sure.
Thanks, sir.
Let's hear it, killer.
What's that?
Come on. Let's hear it. What do you got to say?
I got nothing for you.
No.
No.
You guys all good?
I'm good.
Okay. Can you put your hands on the wall, please? I'm gonna search you one last time. I need, again, anything on your six
I
ten.
did not consent to any searches.
I
or
understand
seizures.
that.
This is assault, you faggot.
Pick up your foot for me, please. Out and to your left, please.
See you, Corey.
Yep. Up to the desk.
Thanks, you guys do. Search the front seat. You still recording, Chuck?
Oh yeah, that was the guy.
I've seen his videos before. Is there a number for this?
Oh yeah, that was the guy. Yeah, I've seen his videos before. What does that tell you guys? Retaliation? Can you say it? Put one in the chat if you believe it was a retaliation. Put a two if you don't think it was. Seriously, I mean, and I'm looking for twos here to see if anybody disagrees with the retaliation part. Oh, way. Always saying 69. Come on, there's got to be a two in there somewhere. It's borderline. Okay, that's good. Why do you think it was borderline? Was it just because he could have got out of it and he could have left the scene and not taken an arrest? If he'd have backed down? Back the madness. Two. Okay. They thought you were Long Island out on your first arrest. That's funny. What do you got to say, Nikki? You've been pretty quiet over there.
You know, you and I kind of discussed that a little bit earlier today. I, I have to say he was in the right for filming, public officials. That is what we can do. Um, he did take a step back when he was told to step back. He didn't go back to where the officer told him to go. But then again, that begs the question, is that a lawful order, or, how far away is needed for quote unquote officer safety? You know, I think it's in what, Indiana. Now they're saying 25 feet. Does that mean that they're going to get a tape measure out and measure 25 feet to make sure that
Oh,
the
they
officer
have.
is safe?
They have. They did that with Craig Henry, and he was at 21 feet, and they arrested him later on. And if you're that far away, 25 feet away, you can't possibly hear what's going on. So there's no transparency there.
Right.
And he's in Michigan. They don't have a distance law, as far as I know. Now, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody wants to look that up. But most states, you have a right to record your public officials in the course of their duty, including traffic stops. And if you have that right, who is an officer to say that, hey, you've got to go away? Go all the, if you're okay to film, just go all the way back to your car and off my, completely out of the scene. So it wouldn't do you any good to film, right? And if you don't do
Right.
it, we're going to arrest you. And then we're going to charge you with a felony. And you're looking at 20 years now.
Right.
And by the
Now,
way, there's no attorney that's close by that wants to represent you, so you have to pay $30,000 to get a lawyer.
right.
I mean,
Yeah. I
the
mean,
process is the punishment.
now Oklahoma asked me if I'm on the fence. It's not that I'm really on the fence. It's that I agree with the angry vet. He did back up, which was fine. He took that step back, but he didn't need to come right back up on them again.
I believe
He
it's felony obstruction, Angry Vet. Felony obstruction.
Yeah, he backed up to the front of the car, which granted wasn't where he was told to back up to, but he did back up. But then he came back up on them. So no, they were going after him because they knew who he was. But once again, his actions kind
you
of
kind of gave
proceed.
him an excuse. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were looking for any excuse, right? Um, yeah, but I mean, should he be looking at the charges that he has? Now, keep in mind, KY React said in the chat he overheard on the radio that there was another serious call. So these officers are taking the time to mess with somebody with a camera, just filming them. Who did he hurt? I mean, where's the victim? If you can't identify a victim, then you're the victim if you get arrested. And I believe he's the victim in this case.
Well, and there was a serious call. It was either a domestic violence or break-in,
Yeah.
and that came over the radio, and we all heard it.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, why mess with someone with a camera who's not doing anything but hurting your feelings because they might catch you doing something wrong?
Well, and I can tell you why. They were out to get him. I mean, just look at, I mean, just by showing those previous videos that I showed, you I mean, when you dress down men like that feel like they're manly, and you dress them down to where they're embarrassed, uh, they're going to feel a certain way about you, and they're going to want revenge. And I think that they were all talking to each other about Press with Rancor, and their previous encounters with him, and they were looking for anything that they could do to hem him up. And that's what they're doing with all these First Amendment auditors out there. And I don't think it's right. I mean, and I don't believe it was a lawful arrest either. I think it was prior restraint. I think he had a constitutional right to stand where he was standing and talk. Obstruction is a physical act. That is the law. And I believe it is the law in Michigan. Now, somebody can look that up. And
It was at the very beginning of the video. It is a fact. And Brandon, no, I wouldn't say that when they told you to shut up that you should have shut your mouth.
no.
That wasn't it. It was the physical act of him stepping back up on the
Okay.
officers after he backed away.
All right.
It's kind of half and half. It's that excuse. They're
No,
looking for that.
physical means you are getting physical with the cop, though, Nikki. Not just stepping forward. That's not doing something physical to interfere with his stop.
But
You
the
see what I mean?
way that they play word salad with the laws and with how the laws are written is there is a lot of um, wiggle room in the way that the laws are written, because you can read words just like I can, and we can both come up with a different meaning. And
Yeah,
then
you're right. It's word salad, and courts use it a lot. um, yeah, well, and that's standard too, Angry Vet, where most people do have to take a deal, especially if they're looking at a lot of years. Um, I honestly, I don't see Press with Rancor taking a deal. I don't see it happening. I spent 6.5 hours on the phone with that man, and he believes in what he's doing. You know, physical. Okay. Hey, do you guys want to come up on the panel? Because I mean, this is something that I've heard before about the physical act. Obstruction is a physical act, and I always thought it was physical. You're getting physically in between the cop and his stop. You're getting in between physically for it to be considered obstruction. Um, and we just put the StreamYard out there. So if somebody wants to come up on panel, I'd sure like to get a better explanation of obstruction. Um, and maybe while we're doing that too, Nikki, do you think you could find the law in the state of Michigan and pull it up on the screen and see if we can decipher it? The statute pop it. I don't want to take people away from the show, Tyrants Beware. It's vague on purpose. Okay. Is it vague in the state of Michigan? I'm just really curious about it because I'd like to know if. There you are. Hey,
What's up,
brother.
y'all?
Thanks for coming in.
I'm gonna turn the camera off because I'm getting ready to. I'm gonna take you to the store with me. I just wanted to hop in on the physical and obstruction. There are many different sections of law dealing with different types of obstructions, and nowhere near all of them are a physical action. So I believe that it's a misconception when we assume that all of the obstruction statutes require physical movement. But that does not mean that I'm saying this particular case, whichever particular obstruction charge is in this case, that it did or did not require some type of physical movement. I'm just saying in general, the statute to obstruction being very broad as it is, there's many forms of obstruction that do not require physical motion at all. They can require an action, which can even be done like on a written piece of paper. You can obstruct an investigation by writing something on a piece of paper and putting it in the way, like something that would throw them off if they're trying to read through some documents. And I'm not talking about street police. I'm talking about, like, say you were, obstructing a clerk, for example. If you were to put a bunch of stuff in there that would stop the clerk from being able to do their job in the courtroom, you can be charged with obstruction. And you didn't do anything physical. Well, I guess you entered the paper physically, but you know what I'm saying? There's different types of obstruction.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, but I look up the definition of the word obstruction. That means to get in the way or in between something to obstruct. It's a physical thing.
That's where you're going wrong, is looking up the word in the dictionary is not what you do with law.
Yeah.
You look up the
legal
definition in the law.
Could be different. Yeah, I get you. Go ahead, Angry Vet.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I was like, where'd you look it up? But that was already handled. The fact is, it really doesn't matter how it's written or what's written, because what it boils down to is whether or not the jury's going to believe the state or the jury's going to believe you. That's it. That's 100. That's 100% fact. They stack these charges up on you and or turn things into felonies just because even when they know for a fact that it's not going to fly, they throw it on you anyway, because in hopes that they can come back if you do decide to take it all the way or whatever last minute. They can come at you and say, oh, well, we'll drop this, and this if you plead guilty to that.
Right.
Yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And they've
So that's
already,
the game.
yeah, that's the game. And they, and I've been in it. I've seen it in action. And like with these 8 felonies that they have me on right now, I mean, 4 of them are from the same person from the same video. Like, and two of them, we don't even have, alleged victims. I don't even know who the alleged victims are. So what's that like? What does that even tell you? Like,
Yeah.
there's
You have a right to
six
finish your
right there,
accuser
right
too.
off the bat. You know what I mean? That you know, the shit's not going to fucking fly. But they can say, oh, well, we'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of these 7, or we'll get rid of all the damn felonies if you plead guilty to disorderly, the 9th one. It's just so they can hold precedents, and they can use that on the next fucking douchebag or the next guy that they try to fucking rail. Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you for pulling that up, Nikki. What are we looking at here?
This is 750.478A in Michigan. Legal process, intimidation, hindering, or obstruction of public officer or employee. A person shall not attempt to intimidate, hinder, or obstruct a public officer or public employee or a peace officer in the discharge of his or her official duties by use of unauthorized processes.
Unauthorized processes.
Well, what is an unauthorized process? I mean, I'd throw that
An
one right away.
unauthorized process means either of the following: a document simulating legal process that is prepared or issued by or on behalf of an entity that purports or represents itself to be a lawful tribunal or a court, public officer, or other agency created, established, authorized, or sanctioned by law, but that is not a lawful tribunal or a court, public officer, or other agency created, established, authorized, or sanctioned by law, or a document that would otherwise be legal process, except that it was not issued or entered by or on behalf of a court or lawful tribunal, or lawfully filed with or recorded by a governmental agency as required by law. However, this subparagraph does not apply to a document that would otherwise be legal process, but for one or more technical defects, including but not limited to errors involving names, spelling, addresses, or time of issue or filing, or other defects that do not relate to the substance of the claim or action underlying the document.
So we can throw all that out because that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's all
right.
documents.
So on to number. Let's look at that.
So by the officer claiming that he had to take his attention off of his traffic stop, which once again is going to fall under officer safety.
That's subjective, yeah. I mean,
Well, number one, you can just throw number one completely out because that doesn't even apply to the arrest.
Yeah,
well,
intimidate is subjective. It's not objective. It's very vague.
Right. Hinder, I think that's what they're going to use it as, is the hindering, because he
really,
had to
I want to hear everybody in the chat. Hindering. So taken away, I mean, squirrel. So if he's getting the cop's attention, is that his fault that he's getting the cop's attention with his camera? Or is it the cop's fault?
No, because you can argue that there's 2 cops there. You know what I mean? So he doesn't need to pay attention to the dude because his backup should already be covering him. So
exactly, and I agree with that. I wonder if you would have went to the next section if it would have talked about more than just documents. Nikki, if you want to put that back up on the screen and hit the next section, maybe there's more in the next section of that document that you had up.
Yeah, because you got to read the whole. I think you got to read the whole thing. I think.
Yeah, see up here where it says next section. No. Up here where it says next section. Because we basically read all of these.
The next section is a different law. It's use of
yeah.
authority to prevent reporting of certain crimes.
Go back. Yeah, then go back to the other one.
Okay.
And what's all
Like
this
number
other stuff?
2, number
Yeah,
3.
A.
Okay. Number 2, except as provided in subsection 3, you're guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by imprisonment for not more than 2 years or a fine of not more than $1,000 or both. Now, I thought misdemeanors, and I'm probably wrong, but I thought misdemeanors were a year or under, and you serve those in like county, not state.
No,
A
according
per,
to
Uh,
Michigan, it's not. So every state is different.
right.
Yeah.
re,
Um,
I'm trying to find out how they got him on 20 years. Like, this is just one felony charge and he's facing 20 years. What? I don't
Oh,
get it.
many years, many years. I said many years. I don't know if it's
Oh,
20 or not, but
okay, now,
and there might be multiple charges too. I haven't looked up the charges, so don't quote me on any of that.
yeah, there might be multiple charges. And number 3 says a person who violates subsection 1 after one or more prior convictions for violating subsection 1 is
ah.
guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 4 years or a fine of not more than $2,000 or both.
So the only way they can actually charge him with a felony obstruction if he has already been felony obstruct or for an obstruction charge prior to this one.
Exactly.
And I don't think
Mhm.
he has. I don't think he. I mean, he had no criminal record. Basically, is what he conveyed to me.
You know, but
I think they're
multiple years
overcharging him
could
anyway.
be that
I think it's
misdemeanor.
ridiculous. Yeah. I think they're going to try to get him to plea down to the misdemeanor, charging him with the felony, even though they know the felony's not going to stick anyway.
Well, just reading that alone, any decent lawyer should be able to throw it out. I mean, to be honest
Yeah,
with you, because
should.
I don't see anywhere in those writings where
Yeah.
um he's guilty of anything that's written in that statute.
Yeah. It's all obstruction with documentation. Most of it. It's like, where's the obstruction? He didn't have a document in his hand. I mean, you can't call a camera a document, can you? I don't think so.
Well, and like Tyrant said, that's why it's important to know what statute that he got charged with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
That way
love to
we
see
can
the
look
charging
that
doc.
up.
Yeah, I know it's in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, but I don't know the town. We'll look into this
And
further,
my
though.
phone
I
cut
think.
out right before you all got to the.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. No worries.
I said
for
my
folks.
phone cut out right before we got to the definition in that statute, and I really wanted to read it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You want to
okay.
pull it
Hang
up again,
on.
Nikki?
Sorry, I
on.
lost connection.
No worries.
I'm gonna
No,
go
actually,
I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. I'll be right back.
All right.
smoke too, vet.
All right, Chris, I've got it pulled up. There's really no definition of intimidate, hinder, or
Yeah,
obstruction.
just go ahead and pull it up. We can't see it on the screen here.
I thought I had it pulled up.
I'm
Oh,
mostly
guess
interested
I
in
gotta
where it
hit
goes to
share.
definitions. Like if
Yeah.
you follow till it gets to definitions, like they actually define what they mean by the words.
Well, as used in this section, they've got lawful tribunal, a legal process, public employee, a public officer, unauthorized process. That's the only definitions that they have.
Oh, ain't that a
A
Can I
bitch.
cuss on your
Yeah.
channel?
Yeah, and see at the very top, look at intimidate, hinder. Those are things that are very, very subjective, right?
I mean, maybe intimidate, because that's up to how a person would feel. But I mean, there are forms of actual intimidation that I think would be. I think the way that's determined in court on that is if a reasonable person would be placed in fear, or
Well, okay. He's 6'6",
no,
probably
that's
over
not.
200 pounds.
Yeah, but I think what we're looking at that they're using this definition
intimidate.
for is hinder, not the intimidation, but the hindering.
Right, and so wouldn't hinder be a physical thing to hinder?
No,
I mean,
well, I'm not agreeing with the charges on him. I don't think he should have been charged. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I know Rancor, and I know he knows what he's doing. But what I'm saying is, we're talking about legal definitions and stuff. The word hinder does not. You can so you don't have to physically do something to someone else to hinder them. You can hinder them by something that you do previous to them. Like, I think of, say, if I say I'm working with somebody that's using a machine, and let's say that the day before I punch a bunch of codes up to mess the machine up, and then the day that the issue happens, the machine just isn't working. Well, I hindered that person's process. I hindered,
Or by me cutting you off just now, I could have hindered you continuing your thought.
Exactly.
Show Me Audits has a good point here. Said we need to look at Michigan case law to find out how the courts see this statute.
Yeah, you got to find what they're going to call reasonableness.
Right. Oh, what's that noise?
Hold on.
TV coming jamming some.
Well, I had to roll my windows down.
That sounded like country music.
Nope.
So, what are your thoughts, TV?
Got to know the statute that they charged them with. That way you can look up that very specific statute. That way you know exactly what they're charging them with, and then you can argue from there.
Right.
But the link that I gave, that's pretty much the first government website that I seen. So I popped it up and said, let's look at that. But until you know, we don't know. Now they could have wrote in they could have wrote in his citation interference, but gave a code for like something stupid like jaywalking. If that happens, the charge has to be dropped because it was inappropriate. To give you an example, Michael Kaiser's case, the murder case, it got dropped because they didn't have the right charge on there. They misread it.
They had the statute. They had the wrong definition to the statute that they wanted to charge.
Hang on, guys.
And that wasn't the cop that did that either.
I just found Michigan legislature.
Okay.
I'm going to pull it up. Hang on. Let me stop screen. I think I might have just found where they're coming with this. It is Michigan Penal Code 750.81D, and this is from the Michigan legislature. Assaulting, battering, resisting, obstructing, opposing person performing duty. Felony, penalty, other violations, consecutive terms, and definitions. So, number 2, it says an individual who assaults, batters, wounds, resists, obstructs, opposes, or endangers a person who the individual knows or has reason to know is performing his or her duties. Then that one goes into requiring medical attention. But the interesting thing is the definition here. As used in this section, obstruct includes the use or threatened use of physical interference or force, or a knowing failure to comply with a lawful command.
That's why I don't believe it was a lawful command. It's because he didn't threaten. He didn't threaten to use any physical force. So leave it up there, Dickie, so we can look at it. Yeah. So because he didn't threaten anything, he was just standing there with a camera.
Yeah,
And you sure
well,
can't.
if they're using the secondary version of that, then they're not even implying that there was any type of threat. They're saying he opposed us by knowing that we were in our official capacity performing a duty. We gave him a command and he didn't follow our order. So it's in, there is an argument there. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be an obvious side with Rancor on that in court, because there's a reason that statute went into like medical and stuff like that. And unless these officers were in the middle of like a life-saving measure or something like that, that's going to be considered in the hearing. Yeah. Like, what were they doing? They just had someone stopped. I didn't even get to see it, but so
yeah, they had someone stopped and he.
It was just a traffic stop and he was filming it.
Yeah, because I can't imagine Rancor would be, like saying, "Don't give them the ticket," because that would obviously be, tell the cops to eat shit. I don't think he would do that. Like, he's usually very quiet.
Yep.
I mean.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, just like Shumi says, to police, lawful, quote unquote, lawful commands are very broad.
Yeah, but they overused it and they're wrong most of the time, I think.
Yeah. They might win a lot of that because people flee and can't afford to, go through the legal process and things like that. So they get away with trying to make it broad. But really what they're doing is they're just not complying with the actual definitions, and they're putting plays on words and trying to make things stick that don't really belong where they're putting them.
Just like Nikki said, they're trying to use word salad. That's
what it does. It reminds me of that fable that we were all taught as children, Crying Wolf. I feel like police officers have a tendency of using statutes to their advantage, and in that they're crying wolf by using these particular statutes that have a good purpose, that are there for a real solid reason, for safety or whatever, and they abuse these for their feelings a lot. And then what happens is it takes the credibility away from that statute. The statute becomes something that people see as a negative thing instead of a helpful statute.
Yeah. And I could see it if he threatened physical interference, but he never did. Or he never threatened any force either. He wasn't really trying to obstruct. He was just wanting to film it. So,
well, Cliff, you just seem really stuck on the physical acts. It's still like you think they're charging him with intimidating and stuff, and I don't think that's the case. I think they're charging him with the other side, because it was or. If you read that statute on the screen again,
failure to comply with a lawful command. But was it a lawful command? I mean, that's the point. I mean, we need.
That's the argument.
That's where you need to figure out what are lawful commands.
Nobody knows. That's the thing. Like the only thing that is going to take credibility away from these vague and very broad statutes that are specifically designed to be that way in order for the injustice system to work the way it wants to work. The only thing that's going to take away credibility of these statutes is law are challenging, a case just like this, challenging the actual statute and then suing the ever living fucking piss out of them when you win. But here's the thing, it's when you win. Because in any negative outcome to this case, all the charges could be dropped, but still, go on probation or something like that, or be steaded or whatever. Any little tiny negative that's in the case at all, regardless of not serving any jail time and or being the charges being dropped. It's I'm fucked up. I'm medicated, and I lost my train of thought.
You were really doing good
I
too.
could pretty much sum it up real quick for him. Basically, he's saying if you fail to beat the charges completely, you can't do a lawsuit because it's going to take it all away.
Yep,
Well,
exactly.
it just makes it really, really hard to come back from. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, ideally you want to beat it, but there's also malicious prosecution angles. There's different ways. It just depends on the case. I mean, of course, most attorneys are going to have two things in mind when they're looking at a criminal case that might flip into potentially a lawsuit. One, they want to see the dollar signs at the end of the day. That injury needs to be sufficient.
Not unless they already got the dollars, bro. You know what I mean? Like if they already got their $30,000, if they can take it to the table with a deal, that's what they're gonna do. Period.
If they see a deal, and then that's where number two is going to come in. You were right, and then that's where I was going with it. When the cases are dismissed, that smells like a deal's going to hit the table because they're admitting they were wrong by dismissing. Any other form would have resulted in some sort of prosecution, whether it be a plea deal, lesser charges, probation, anything like that. But that doesn't mean you can't still do a lawsuit. It's just a lot harder when you don't have that dismissal.
Well, it's near impossible. The odds are very low.
Good to see you, fair
of winning that lawsuit.
They will use your own criminal case as case law against you in civil court. So, it's hard to beat.
Yeah. So I want to address the chat in here. I see, I did see Missoula Liquidators. I think I know who
Missoula.
that is.
I spent some time in Missoula, and Cliff and I, we talked about that, didn't we?
But yeah, that's where I'm from. I believe that is my brother. I'm not going to dox him, but I believe it's him. He says, "Step back" is the lawful command. But his face there doesn't look like he really means it. I think he's being facetious.
Okay, hold on.
No, it's more of a thinking, like scratching the head. Is that the lawful command? Which, that's where the overbroadness of lawful commands comes in, and the fact that we, the people, have not, up to this point, gone after these laws, these very vague laws.
Right. And now here's how we can make it not vague, though. Let's go to what the 5 freedoms in the First Amendment are. Freedom of press. He had a camera in his hand. He was videoing the police in the course of their duties, public officials, which is the law. You can do that. That is.
I just don't care about the Constitution. I can
Well,
tell you
I
that.
know. I know.
Well, no, you don't get to argue Constitution in trial court, in criminal trial court.
I know, and it's ridiculous.
You have to enter it in like motions and stuff like that. Now listen here. Let's talk about the words lawful command, the definition of that. It's not as broad as it seems to be. It's being misused. So when you allow something to get misused, we're back to the crying wolf thing again. When you allow something to get misused so much, then it just gets misused and people don't pay attention to it. And that's what's been happening with the definition of the words lawful command. Lawful command has a very specific definition. What it means is when the command is backed by an enforceable law. So there literally has to be a statute for the command. It has to be backed by law. They can't just say, do the hokey pokey and spin around. That's not a lawful command because there is no statute that allows the officer to do that. So in other words, it's not lawful. It's not backed by law. But if the officer says, move back because there's something in the statute that would require you to move back from it, then that would be a lawful command.
He said several times obstruction. You're obstructing.
Well, then the term lawful command in this matter is the same argument. If they would have to determine that it was reasonable given the totality of the circumstances in that situation, that when the officer said, I have an obstruction here on point A, and I have an individual who is approaching forward to this point A from point B, and then he has to prove that point A is backed by a statute. You see what I'm saying? It's all the same argument.
Yeah.
I want to go to KY React's comment. He says, if a lawyer is making 30, 50K from a case, then I would suspect a plea deal would be sought by the lawyer and case closed because lawyer has made his or her money. 1000% correct. And I can agree, I can attest to this because 2 weeks after I retained a lawyer, a plea deal was given to my lawyer, which he never told me about until I called him to the table for working with the state.
Whoa, isn't that the law that they have to tell you about a plea deal?
Yeah, yep. Never. I didn't find out until I called him to the table for working with the state. He clearly was working with the state. I called him out on it. And that was that. I can't really get into details about it because it's still an ongoing thing. But 2 weeks after, I was offered all charges dropped except for one count of felony wiretapping against the doctor, and like 9 charges. So 7 felonies and a misdemeanor all off the table if I agreed to plead. You know, and that
Now, did this happen in Maryland? Did this happen in Maryland, Ingerville?
Yeah.
Okay, and what are the laws as far as recording? Is it a one party or two party?
For the state, it is a 2-party consent state. But I was, I was on federal property. Federal agents made themselves part of the arrest. They arrested me. They took me to the federal police station. Then they transported me to the state and turned me over to the state. Then they tried to use the Assimilated Crimes Act to charge me through the state. It was just a big scam. It was. There's only one of two things that could that played out. Either the federal police knew exactly what they were doing,
and I don't want you to talk too much about the case.
I'm not.
He's okay as long as he's not giving his argument.
Right. The federal police knew exactly what they were doing and conned the state into taking these charges because they literally failed at every corner and every step, every procedure, every policy, everything that they were supposed to do, they did not do. So they either conned them or the state was actively trying to hem an auditor up for wiretapping, and they saw my videos, contacted the VA police, and said, "Hey, we can do this. If you do this, we can charge them for wiretap statute, which is completely against all federal laws." There is
a typical conspiracy.
Yeah. Oh, at 100%. There's one.
Yeah.
There is conspiracy somewhere in there. I just haven't found it yet, but it's in there. And well, I mean, I found it, but I don't have
that part. I wouldn't talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't tell them what you got or what you don't got. I like to play a little trick and pretend I don't got it when I got it.
No, I want them to know that I fucking got it, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But yeah, it was a total shit show, and that's what they do. Like, it's sad, but they're
It
all
is.
gunning. They're all gunning for auditors. They're all gunning for us, and they're going to do whatever they can. They're going to throw as much shit against the wall, and whatever sticks sticks. That's the point, and that's why we need to be as careful as we can be. You know, like when a cop says step back, you know what? Step the fuck back. You just appeased his command. Now, do you need to keep stepping back? Absolutely not. You tell the motherfucker to go fuck himself. You obeyed his lawful fucking command. Have a nice fucking day. You don't have to take the rot. You don't have to, you know. I'm not saying he was wrong for what he did, because I wholeheartedly 100% believe in what he did. But there's some things that could have been done a little different to where he wouldn't be sitting here with felony charge. He wouldn't have, he wouldn't have got the arrest. He still had the threat. He didn't need to take the ride because.
Well, and
Go
here's
ahead.
what I'd like to know. Here's what I'd like to know, and everybody in the chat can talk about this too. His behavior, for what the cops did to him. Do you think he behaved well enough that a jury would have sympathy on and take more his side or the officer's side?
That's
I'd
a
like to hear
gamble.
from everybody.
That's a gamble. That's a roll of the dice. I mean, I'm 100% behind how he acted and how he reacted. And,
I am too, and I believe most of our audience are as well. But just the
Right, but
layman
we're
people
not.
out there,
Our audience are rarely going to be a number in the jury.
exactly, and so we want to be as objective as possible as to how he acted when he got arrested. How do you think a regular jury, just layman people that don't understand all of this, how do you think that they're going to find him if it does go to the jury trial?
I think he's going to be found guilty.
Well, here's the thing.
Without the right lawyer, I think
it's up to the lawyer to train the jury into understanding the statute and the requirements step by step to the statute. And it's up to the attorney also to remind the jury of their obligations to constitutional freedoms like free speech,
But you said in the criminal court they can't bring that forward.
Well, no, you would be able to say, look, it's not a violation of law to say, fuck you to a cop, right? That's not because that's protected under the First Amendment. You can say that. You're not arguing constitutional law in your trial when you're just talking to the jury.
And you can make it a jury matter. Before you even gets to a jury trial, you can make it a jury matter with a motion to make it a matter, and you can hold the judge accountable on whether or not he's going to let that be a jury matter or not.
But either way, I mean, there's no coaching a jury, but of course there's, it's the attorney's job to train the jury into understanding what's going on there in that courtroom, the law.
Right.
And part of the law is free speech. So,
but then, like Show Me Audit says, a jury trial is mostly a popularity contest between the lawyers.
Yes.
Which lawyer gets the most likes?
Right. Right.
Well, and our entire court process has gone down the tube so far anyway, that we all know in reality, 9 times out of 10, you walk in a courtroom, it's going to be a shit show. Who knows what they're going to do in there?
And I think everything is geared towards cops are great, prosecutors are so nice, and that judge, he just seems really smart.
Well, they all drink at the same bar, they all play the same game.
Yeah. And so the guy's got to be guilty. The cops wouldn't have arrested him if he wasn't guilty.
They're going to look into the case matter. I mean, it's it's too much of a dedicated position to not at least look at the case matter. But yes, opinions do get in the way. Personal opinions get in the way.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just giving the worst case scenario on this because sometimes that can be reality. I don't want to be a defeatist like that.
Well, I think, Cliff, I think you're 100% right and on track with what you look like to a jury, and a lot of auditors really either A, don't care, or B, just aren't thinking about that in the moment. And like it's like with the whole VA, going into the VA, I already knew all the statutes. I already knew everything. You know, I did my research before I challenged this, and I knew 100% that if I did get arrested, that it was going to go to a jury because I wasn't going to plead out, and I knew that the state was going to take it all the way. So I wasn't an asshole like I usually am. You know what I mean? I knew I knew for a fact that a jury is probably going to see this if they're as dirty as I thought they were, which they are. And that's the way it is. Like, but with the other arrests, of course, I was a total dick, cussing, yelling, hollering, screaming, because I knew for a fact it wasn't going to get to a jury, because I knew for a fact 100% I probably could have beat all the charges even without a lawyer. You know, that's how simple those were. But for shit like this, it's not that simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's easy to get caught up in your feelings, you know, when you get frustrated sometimes when like I can think of examples. I'm not going to directly point at them because I don't want the cops trying to use them against me. But I mean, there's been times where I've been hard pressed on getting my mission accomplished. Like I had something I needed to file, or I had something I needed to do, and it was business. I took off work. I couldn't afford to do it again, and some asshole is standing in my way one way or another. You know, like I'm gonna start out saying, please, you know, like come on, let's be respectful. But hang on, there's a motorcycle going by.
My very first arrest was the same way. You know, like it was nice and calm and easy keeled, and then when your rights are being, and you know your rights are being violated, you start to get amped up a little bit. And I totally lost my shit. Yeah, I got totally angry, and I lost my shit on my first arrest.
And that's part of it. So you should get angry when your rights get violated, people. You know, and that's the thing. And it part of the element of what you're when you're in criminal court, part of the element that you're being measured by is your position in society. Are you a responsible member of society? Can you function in society day to day without being a nuisance, right? So that is an element that's going to be weighed on every burner anyway.
And maybe he should get a change of venue then, because he just moved into that town and people were already intimidated by him. They thought, this big guy, he's got this voice and he's just creepy, scary looking, and we're all afraid of him, and he intimidates even the state troopers just by his presence. And he said that's been
wait
going
a minute,
on all his
wait a
life.
minute, Cliff. Wait a minute,
Intimidate.
Cliff. The word that you just used, intimidate.
Yeah, and it's a feeling. It's not. It's subjective. It's not
it
objective.
is. However, that word right there, intimidate, is used in the legal
I
definition.
know, and it shouldn't be, because it's
No,
subjective.
hold on. It's got a definition that fits the legal standard.
Right.
Okay, so what's
That's
the
not
legal
the same as the feeling intimidation. The feeling of intimidation is way more broad. Like the definition out of Webster's is totally different than the legal definition of intimidation.
Okay, expand on that. What is the legal definition of intimidation?
Well, first of all, it has multiple elements, but the main one is subjective in the courtroom. It's saying, would a reasonable person who is in the same exact situation, would the things that are being done in the totality of the circumstances again, would a reasonable person feel fear? Shoot, I can't remember what the element. Hey, Tiff, what were the other? Alarm, fear. What else is in intimidation?
Yeah. So again, reasonable. I mean, what's reasonable? I mean,
what a reasonable person would conclude. So if you measure, let's say we had 50 men,
reasonably.
50 people. Okay.
So let's
So
keep
you
it
had,
right here. Let's keep it on Press with Rancor. He's 6'6", a big guy, doesn't talk a lot. That's scary to people. So that's reasonable, but it's still subjective, and I don't.
no. Well, no,
Even the
you didn't
legal
let me finish
terms
where I was
being
going.
subjective. Okay, go for it. I'm listening.
So what I was saying was, like, what they're measuring is out of a number of people. So out of a number of normal people that do day-to-day normal stuff in society, would a high number of those people all be scared, intimidated, or I'm sorry, scared? Shoot, I just forgot the different things
Or
again.
alarmed.
Yeah. So would that the same exact situation in that case? That's all they can use. Would the higher number of people feel those things in that circumstance? And then if you're asking 100 people, does the large man alone, just being a large man, does that alarm you? And they would have to say no. I mean, the majority of a reasonable person, normal person, is not going to be alarmed just because someone's big. But when you
But
put the
then
element,
you add in the element of it being nighttime and that the officer had his back turned at first.
and you could say, the clothing he was wearing was baggy and could have had a weapon. And I'm not talking about rankers on this because I didn't watch it again.
And they're going to use, the people that were in the vehicle at the traffic stop as witnesses, because they even said, oh my gosh, is that guy videotaping me? What is that guy doing? They showed alarm right there. So they're going to use them as witnesses.
They always do that when they can, persuade other people. They always do.
Yeah, and they're bootlickers.
Well, most people are, they're going to side with the police.
Yeah.
Well, when they go with that argument, then you'd have to go with the same thing. Would a reasonable person fear a camera being at a traffic stop? No reasonable person is going to fear a camera at a traffic stop.
It all falls back to the actions that Rancor was taking, what he was wearing, how fast he was moving. The daylight was a good one, daylight or darkness. It's going to be all these factors, and then all these factors are going to be put down together and then given to the jury, and then the jury has to decide whether they would assume that the reasonable person would be in fear of that exact situation or alarmed by.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't think it should be used.
I'm being charged with.
I know.
I
know, and I think it's
hold
wrong.
on. I'm trying to think of what it was. I was being charged with the form of, not the intimidation one. The what's the one we got with Ray Whited?
Obstruction.
Yeah, it was
You were obstructing his ability to arrest Tiffany.
No, that was resisting arrest. Was that charge? The other charge?
Disorderly conduct.
Disorderly. It has those elements. So they're saying if you can cause alarm. Well, in my case, the argument is obvious. It's probably not the reasonable. People are going to say it's probably not reasonable to get alarmed by a guy saying, hey, what's your name? Because I want to file a grievance on you. Now, if I was screaming, this fucking office, I've had enough. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. Now that would be fitted to the statute.
Right.
So same me, same size, same daylight, same clothing, everything. Just depends on the circumstances. And it's being measured by.
I think we all know. Anybody that watched that live knows the only one that was disorderly was Whited.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys, if you haven't seen For Public Safety and Official Misconduct or subscribe to their channel, you've been living under a rock, and I highly suggest and recommend that you do subscribe to their channel because they've got some really good stories. So does the Angry Vet, and so does Tyrants Beware.
And
They're
so
I just
does
all
subbed
Jay
to
Wade
Thanks
React.
Beware.
We're
Sorry,
just
brother. I
throwing
didn't
out
know.
shameless
I didn't
plug.
know. I didn't know I was unsubbed. I didn't know I wasn't subbed. Sorry, I'm medicated. Leave me alone.
You're okay, Angry Vet. So, well, I think we
Okay,
beat this
and I mean,
horse. But
we've
yeah,
got
go ahead, Nikki.
you've also got JC News Now, like Show Me Audit says.
All right.
He has felony harassment because he called the jail and asked a single question. And then others called on their own because he put out the phone number or the location, and other people could look up the phone number.
Public information. Imagine that. Yeah, I got that charge myself. Harassment for doing public business at the jail.
Yeah.
Well, here's their argument with that. Like, I don't see a problem with what he did, right? But
I don't either.
here's the argument that they have with that, and it's a pretty solid argument. If he'd have put that phone number out for everybody else, to call or whatever, then they would have absolutely zero argument on it, right? But he called himself as well, and recorded it and then put it up. So now they have the proof that he was part of that barrage of phone calls that they got, and that's what they're going to try to sell the jury. You see what I'm saying? Like if he hadn't have called, like, you see what I'm saying? Like if he hadn't have done that, then it's a little easier of a fight to sell to the jury on your side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I think about other businesses. I think about other businesses when I consider a public service. I think about other private businesses that have to maintain in the same society, and I go, if I stand out in the parking lot in front of a McDonald's and say, "Oh my God, that was the most amazing Big Mac I've ever had in my life. I'll give $500 of my dollars for anyone out here to eat a Big Mac on me right now." What's McDonald's going to do? Charge them with the crime? No.
No, they shouldn't. I mean, but
if they get busy, that's part of life. Get busy. Deal with it. Do your job. That's the way I see that. As far as calls, as long as they're not tying up the emergency line. Now, if they're tying up the emergency line, that's a bad thing because there's emergencies.
All I'm saying is we as accountability specialists, or whatever you want to call us, frontline warriors, auditors, whatever, we need to be more careful with our actions and what we're doing and how we're letting them do the dirty deeds.
Especially now, because a lot of auditors out there are getting hemmed up over bullshit. And we all know it's bullshit, but it's still happening. So they've got to they've got to act like people like Long Island Audit, or they just have to tone everything down. I don't think it should be.
Even those who have toned it down, like the cammed up caveman.
Yeah.
He just got arrested.
They're still getting arrested.
The dreaded rabble rouser got arrested for speaking at a public meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, how can you sit there and yes, we need to be, I don't know, more sensible, but then again, if we're more sensible, how much further
and how much change are we going to affect?
And
well, here that's exactly what I was just thinking. Was all right. So I'll give a perfect example of this, and it's going to be It's not going to be liked, and I'm probably lose some subscribers over this. But
I doubt that. Say it, buddy. Say it, brother.
What anybody can fucking pick up a camera, go out and record a fucking cop. Okay. And you can cop watch, and you can go on a traffic stop and record them, yada, yada, yada. And you could possibly get hemmed up, and you could possibly get unlawfully arrested. And then you beat the charges and you sue them and you get some money. Okay. All right, great. You got into their pockets. But what the fuck did you change? You see what I'm saying? Like you changed absolutely nothing. Like we're all here for change. We're all here to change this dirty fucking system, and the only way to do that is to attack these statutes and attack these laws and get some of this shit changed, like in legislation. You know what I mean? Like Long Island's doing, and some other people I know are doing. Like, I love it. I love it.
Petition
you're right.
is one of the biggest elements.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing too. You're right, Angry Vet, but I contend too that these lawsuits, we need to do a lot more of them. And I've never sued, so I don't know what all it takes. I'm pretty sure it costs a lot of money. Takes years to get it adjudicated. But the more it hurts the wallets of the layman people out there, and they need to know that it's happening. It needs to be so exposed out there. The money part of it, 100%. That they want to do something about the corruption.
Exactly.
So it has to be done. It's just a matter of who can do it.
when everybody, but that's the thing. It needs to be a lot of people doing it to make an impact.
Right.
Or really huge cases that like Breonna Taylor's, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like nobody's really, like, everybody loves watching it. I get it. And everybody sees it and everybody's for it. But if the people aren't feeling it in their tax dollars, if they don't see where their tax dollars are going on this $5 million case or this $20 million case or this $1 million case or this.
Oh, and don't even kid yourself. You and I both know, Vet, that most of these cases are like 2,500, 10,000, you know,
15,000.
Right. I mean, like Long Island, like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate Long Island for doing what he's doing, but he came to Baltimore and he dealt with the same cops that I was dealing with. And he came in and he walked out with $10,000. Hooray. Great for him. But clearly he didn't fucking change anything because I'm still dealing with these cocksuckers. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm still, facing the repercussions. They didn't change the way they do shit.
And he settled, right? I mean, he's settling for $10,000, but there's no changes made to what happened in the first place.
It's basically, it was a payoff. Here's $10,000.
Go
have
away.
a nice day. Don't come back to Maryland.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Settlement is expected in a lawsuit. So that's first thing that needs to be recognized here in this conversation. Settlement is the process. I mean, but maybe not on the first offer, but settlement is the process. Anything else would be wasting resources. It's better to not have to go to the courtroom and do trial, and it is good that they try to settle it before court. However, one of the things that I have a problem with is sealing these records of these lawsuits. Because that's where the nails hit on the head. The people need to know about these lawsuits. They should know about these incidents. They should know about these lawsuits.
No non-disclosure.
Right. I mean, I get it if there's like a sexual abuse victim or something like that doesn't want to be known. But, you can still even redact certain information. But, these non-disclosures because they do that almost as like a normal thing with these lawsuits. Hey, you keep your mouth shut about this and it'll be off the record. We'll go ahead and pay out what you're asking. That's not helpful. That hurt.
But then you also have, like Show Me Audit says, you've got all the cops and public officials saying The only reason that you guys are out there doing what you do is for the money. The reason they say that is because the normal, everyday Joe Blow on the street is not out there doing the same thing, seeing the same thing. We need to bring it to more of the public's attention. And lawsuits aren't necessarily the way to do that.
Well, you don't get money, first of all, from doing this stuff unless you're one of those, diamond in the rough. Like it's luck. Like you still have an element of luck, or bad luck, like just luck in general. Because, I mean, the last thing in the world that I ever wanted to deal with was what turned me into a person that has a lawsuit. I would trade it back any day of the week. I did not want to go through that.
Not me. No, I'm
Well,
100% opposite.
Yeah, and here's what we were just talking about this too. When you go to settle, no non-disclosure, and there's got to be some change affected. That proves that you're going to hold out until you get those things, and that proves to the other sick of the other people out there that say they're just in it for the clicks and views and the money. You prove them wrong by making sure you get those things into the deal that affect change. And I think that's where we need to go with those lawsuits.
Well,
if you're going to sue, make sure that there's some change going to happen too.
That's where I'm at with it, because like say for instance, after I get done with the VA and I sue them for, say, let's just hypothetically say $20 million, right? And we get all these lawsuits into them, and I want a total of $20 million, and they're like, oh no, fuck you, you're crazy. How about $10 million? And I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'll take your $10 million, but this is what I need done. You know what I mean? Like, this policy needs to go away. This policy needs to be rewritten. This needs to be done. This needs to be changed. This needs to be trained. You see what I'm saying? And, my name on the wall and a fucking wing somewhere dedicated to my
And then you get to be my sugar daddy.
I gotta cut in right here. I want you guys to know that in the future, the Meade County Courthouse is going to be named Tiffany's House.
Or official misconduct's house. That's even better.
Public safety building.
I want to go back to what Phyllis said. Phyllis said something. I think it was Phyllis, but she was talking about Jeff Gray. I can't find it or whatever. Yes, he's a goat. I get it. I love what he does. He's another veteran. I wholeheartedly 100% support him. But really, is going out there and waving a sign around and collecting $1,000 here or there that he's going to donate. Yeah, the donation part of it's fantastic. Great. Good on him. But what are the people really seeing? Are they, I mean, clearly he's been doing it for, over a decade now, and it's still happening to him.
Hold on a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
He's affecting change, man.
Irony just hit me on this one. Weird, because today, when I was coming back from court, I saw a man standing in the little grassy way between the highway lanes that was holding a sign that said, homeless vet. And it reminded me of Gray, right? Obviously. And my thought was, one of the things that he's doing is bringing attention to the fact that these men in need, these men and women in need, whether they be veteran or not, are in need no matter how you see it. And it brings attention to people thinking, you know what, they need to be able to ask for help.
Well, but what's more important than that is the fact that he's getting rid of all these illegal ordinances.
Well, and that's the whole bottom line. So
that's more important.
What is it that prevents the person from standing there asking for help? Is going to be the ordinance. So he's actually hitting it from two angles, to be honest with you. And listen, the problem is not what's being done by auditors. The problem is that there are not enough people doing what auditors are doing. And I'm not saying turn it into a job. I'm saying people are not recording themselves going and doing their legal business. That's a fact. You know, I got people that contact me and they go, "Oh, got this case. It's so fucked up. Can you help me?" And I say, "No, I can't. I'm not a lawyer. But you can help yourself." Have you been recording? Nope. Well, there you go. Start there. Nobody does.
Otherwise, it's a he said, she said.
Yeah. And if people would in the buildings would just get used to it, then the ordinance would reflect that. The laws would reflect that. They would get used to it. It would be normal. It needs to be normalized. You know, standing there watching the police while they're engaged in what could quite possibly turn into brutality situation or something like that, or we need to be able to be witnesses for each other. That is the purpose of the First Amendment. And you know, we need to normalize it. We need to let cops know, hey, man, you know, and not just cops, all of the government in every facet. We need to let them know we're here. We're not your enemy. We just want to all get along and make sure that, you know, we want to be a part of this. We want to make sure that we are governing our government.
No,
you know,
not me. I am the fucking enemy. Listen, I'm so goddamn angry at all of it that
that's why you're called the angry vet. I mean,
yeah, I'm 100% different. I am in this for the money, and I am in this because I can't stand the fucking government, period, and it needs to change. Change needs to happen in the government. It needs to happen on a legislative level. One day, I will be standing in front of Congress, and they will have to listen to me as an equal, period. End of fucking story.
Right.
And that is my goal. And I am not going to be friends with one single cocksucker that comes against me. Period.
Well, listen, that attitude is necessary in the group as well, because there are going to be people equally as opposed to, they're going to be the total fucking tyrants, who it's going to require a person with your attitude and your feelings to go up against that specific one. You know what I'm saying? And then there needs to be others that are more reasonable, because you got some people are kind of on the fence about, you know, hey, am I supposed to let you do this? I don't want to be a dickhead, but my boss is kind of, you know, misdriving me on this. I don't fully understand. And then you could get someone who's like, hey, let me just show you, brother. And, you know, and you got that end of it too. So it takes all types. And that's why we, the people, are we the people. We're no one is one person. Like, we are all one unit when it comes to being an American citizen. You know, we all have to figure out how to do it together.
Yep.
That's never going to happen. Like, I get it. I understand it.
Don't be such a defeatist. Don't be a defeatist.
No, it's a good dream to have. I get it. But as far as the auditing community is concerned, we are more divided than the fucking country. 100% we are more divided. This auditor doesn't like the way this auditor talks to the cops. This auditor doesn't like the way this auditor does shit to this auditor. This, you know, like this auditor.
There's rumors of this and he said this about me behind the scenes, and I don't like him anymore.
Exactly. This auditor isn't sharing this auditor's stuff because
that's what we're gonna try and do.
Stop that. We don't need any more of the backbiting. Right, Nikki?
We need to get the word out that whether you like someone or not, if they get hemmed up, if whatever their behavior was, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to go with Chili, okay? Whether you like Chili or you don't like Chili because you think he's all for clicks and views, or he's a you know, all about drama, that's fine and dandy, but what happened to him could happen to any of us. And we 100% all understand that. It doesn't matter whether we personally like the person. We have to fight for what is right, not because you like the person or you don't like the person.
And you know what? There are things that each individual quote unquote auditor can start taking control of on their end too. You can't control what other people do, but your control stops where you don't have control of what's done anymore, which usually is it has to be within your control. One thing that auditors could be doing is not attacking the other one.
Even behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. Listen, I'm 100% guilty of that.
Absolutely, we all are, and but recognizing that and trying, being adherent to it, will make you practice doing it less, which will result in all of us getting along more.
I agree, but there's one person that I will never fucking agree to support. And that's that bitch Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I had to get that in there.
But I mean, if we were to say that, critiquing is a bad thing, would be wrong of us, especially if we're believers in the First Amendment, because critiquing, is not a bad thing. Now,
it helps people learn.
Attacking is a different story. Like, for example, Tiffo, you fucking dumpster diving trash whore, dick sucking whore. No, that is not critiquing. You're not critiquing the woman,
Yeah.
But if someone was to tell you to Tiffany politely, it wouldn't hurt her feelings a bit if they said, Tiff, you might need to speak up a little louder because that woman is absolutely deserves for you to yell at her. Or you shouldn't have yelled in that situation because I think you're just misunderstanding the lady. Try to give her a little more room. You know what I mean? And, that's critiquing. And that's not a problem. It shouldn't be. So attacking needs to stop.
Well, and I think Phyllis is right there too. Don't just watch bad government on YouTube, but put your ass in a public meeting. I think that's true too, and I haven't done that.
I haven't either, but there comes a time it'll come, but it needs to come at your time. You know what I mean? Like, it's not time for me to fucking step into public meetings right now because I got enough fucking investigations going on in my hands. I got enough shit on my plate right now to keep me full for a while. When I get to those investigations where I need to step into the public meeting and voice opinions on shit, then yeah, I'm gonna be there, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Well, then here's the thing. Here's my answer to it. Really is I've been looking online at my city council, and so far they're just boring, and I don't even understand what they're talking about half the time. And so and you guys always hear me to say this. This is happening everywhere. It's happening all over the country. All these tyrannical things, all this corruption is everywhere. And then in my own hometown, is it here?
Hold on, wait a minute. You got to find it and raise the flag.
It can't be here, can it? Of course it will be.
You just said you don't know what's going on. You don't understand what's going on.
It's
the
probably
reason why is because you're not going to those meetings.
No, that's
right.
Ass in that public meeting.
Meetings aren't going to teach anything. The meetings
Hold
aren't.
on. Hold on. It depends on what you're looking at. It depends on what you're investigating. Look at my channel. I mean, if I didn't add the element of meeting, there's going to be 30% of the situation I'm never going to figure out. If I can't attend a meeting, then how am I going to get to that council person that's been breaking the law that I have proof of? How am I going to get that person to talk to me when they're hiding from me and outside of the council? Their only duty is to be in that council room once a month, and then they have to allow me my speak time. So yeah, it depends. It just depends. Can it be settled in a meeting? Can being at the meeting be productive towards your outcome? Do I just watch the meetings on TV every month?
Collecting evidence for your case, sure, but nothing's going to change in the meeting, and you're not going to learn anything that you don't already know.
I'm about to blow your mind next week, Vet.
Actually, that I have to disagree with you.
Yeah.
I have been at my city council meetings. Okay. They were all set to put in a dog park in our small town, in my backyard, basically. It took me a week of going out. I got signatures on a petition after I had done the investigation on how much the insurance is going to cost, all the construction costs, who's going to clean up the stray dogs, and their messes. I actually got them to not put the dog park in my town because I had all the facts and I brought it to their attention, and they went and they found out, yeah, insurance is going to be astronomical and we're not going to be able to collect, gate fees or whatever to cover the insurance. It does take all of us, whether we're an auditor or just a regular person. If we see something, we need to say something. We need to go to city council meetings. We need to, if you're going and getting your dog registration tag, take your camera with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody just going to the meeting without already having an investigation or premeditated motives to be there isn't going. I can't think that they're going to learn anything.
They're really good at those meetings of hiding anything new. Nothing's going to surface just by attending meetings for you. I mean, there might be like the dog park.
Questions might get answered. Yeah, questions might get answered too, to where now I can do a public records request and see if they told me the truth or not.
Well,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right. It's worth it. And I got a hell of a video coming up soon that requires me.
Isn't that what Henry uncovered? Henry uncovered something like that in Indiana, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, something in a council. Well, yeah, needing to go to council. Well, he actually got arrested for speaking about a prior arrest in a council setting. During the time that he was allotted to speak.
But he was talking about those houses that were sold to for $1.
Well, he did that too, but I think the one that got wild was he was talking about his arrest, wrongful house warrant without a warrant, search of his house or something like that.
Yeah,
or over some weed or something. I can't remember. It was an old arrest, and the way he worded it, this was really ridiculous. He's facing his charge now. The way he worded it was out of his own opinion. He said something like, thugs came to my home in the middle of the night and broke in my house and, imprisoned me and stuck me in a concrete room, those types of words. And he got charged for false informing.
That is essentially what happened. Just because he used flowery language, that's a First Amendment right, freedom of speech.
That might be his best chance at a lawsuit, in my opinion. But anyway, we'll move forward. We wait for Craig to talk about it.
And not only the fact that just letting you know that you're watching is important, and like Phyllis says, following the money. I mean, look at what the Benghazi Rabbit has uncovered in Piqua, Ohio. The restroom that they're wanting to build for that outrageous sum.
How much was it, Nikki?
43 something.
Are we talking million?
I think so.
Are we talking about the rest stop? Like the rest
area for truck drivers?
No, it's just a rest room in their local park.
Oh my Lord.
It was an outrageous amount, and I'm like, while I was listening to it, I went online and I found ADA compliant restrooms, and it was only 2 stalls. I mean, I know it was more than what my houses are worth.
Oh my Lord.
But what they
somebody's
were
pocketing that money. There needs to be
Exactly.
records request galore on that.
But nobody would have known it if the Benghazi Rabbit wouldn't have gone to that town council meeting. Well, I know that they tabled the discussion so they could look into it more.
Well, good. They might just stop it then because now they know that they could get in trouble. Could get
You
in
know,
trouble.
these council meetings are far too often not attended, and then things go on, and then of course the council members get comfortable just running it however they want without the voice of the public. And
Well,
some places don't even record them.
has the media picked up on that story, Nikki, at all?
Not that I'm aware of yet, and that's another thing that we do need to, you know,
How do we
get
put pressure on the mainstream media? How do we put
Shit
pressure
if
on them,
I
guys?
know. Shit if I
right.
know.
You know, just like Cliff the other day when you and I were talking, I said, "Oh my God, that DA who
In the garage.
in the garage was on
Just ran from the
mainstream
cop.
media."
Yeah.
So how do we
Yeah.
get this
Finally.
this movement? How do we get mainstream media that the general
Well, I'll tell you this:
population watches?
if everybody would run the same story all day long, maybe mainstream media would go, "Oh, what's happening here?" And then they
Nah,
just
the
no.
mainstream media. The only I can tell you right now, and this is a guess, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's a pretty damn good guess. The only reason why mainstream media would run that story is because they were paid to
By
run
other
that
political
story.
enemies.
Exactly.
Yep.
That ain't the only reason. Hold on.
Her in the house. They wanted her gone.
There's another reason it happens. Okay, mainstream is just that. They are going to go after whatever the main thing that people want to see is.
Whatever makes them more money.
Yeah, that's what makes them money is views. So
No,
if the thing that people mainly wanted to see was government accountability, and we're talking nationwide for national news, statewide for state agencies, you know what I mean? If one of the main things people wanted to see was government accountability, you would see a whole lot more mainstream media covering government misaccountability stories, misconduct stories.
I agree. Yeah.
We need more people like Show Me Audits that have, mainstream media in their back pocket and can feed them stories. Like you would have thought that, mainstream media would have picked up on a VA hospital denying a veteran mental health. You know what I mean? You would think that would be a pretty good story to pick up on, but they didn't. They
don't
didn't.
care.
They didn't give a fuck.
They're waiting on it to be a hot topic. So let's say that it was 20 of you, not just you, but 19 other people at that same facility over the course of 1 year. Well, then you got mainstream,
Yeah.
No, you don't, because it happens all the time. And
Well,
everywhere.
yeah, but it has to be exposed on a level that they could use too. That's like people reaching out to me wanting to cover their cases. I can only do it if they have something that I can use.
Yeah. Video. Gotta have it.
Not necessarily a full like it doesn't have to be the whole thing. Don't have to be a video. It could be, some news clips of something, some probable cause, some interview with somebody, things like that. But yeah, you got to have some content. You got to have some substance to be able to make the thing that you're trying to express. You can't just. I mean, I guess you could just go on the panel and say it, and we do that sometimes, especially when we, really want to get it exposed. But that's not very effective. We all know that.
Yeah. Well, I do hope everybody's putting, all my mods are putting the GoFundMe in there for Press with Rancor. I think he does still need help. I don't
When
know
did he get
since
that lawyer?
Delete Laws. So Delete Laws was helping him with these attorney fees. And guess where Delete Laws is now? So I don't know if he's getting help.
There's Delete Laws isn't the only one in control of that fund that has $20,000 in it. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
right?
and I don't know where they're at on that because they're not doing any videos on what they're doing with the people that they said they were helping. It's all about
his
Chili right now.
GoFundMe right now only has 2,406 in it.
Yeah, that's Press with Rancor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Delete
Well,
Laws
I was, yeah, I was,
supposedly has like $20,000 or $30,000 in his
yeah.
GoFundMe, and I'm wondering if he's funneling that money for his appeal instead of helping those people that he was helping. So that's why I wanted to do this video for Press with Rancor. I did try to communicate with him, and I haven't gotten any answers from him. Now he's had some medical issues, so he might be going through some things right now. So I don't know. And I'd like to hear from him.
And this is another thing. I'm not saying anything bad about Press with Rancor, but another thing that we need to start being a lot more patient with is how do I say this without pissing people off? Like, if you don't have the money to protect yourself, as far like if you're literally going out, you know you're doing this, and you know you can catch charges, and you know you're going to need a lawyer at some point or whatever. If you don't have the money for it, then why are we taking those extra little chances? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying don't do what Press did. All I'm saying is maybe it could have been done a little smarter, knowing that you don't have that kind of money to pay for a lawyer in case shit goes sideways.
Well, and also, who would have thunk that you would need $30,000 on just for recording a cop? I mean,
Right.
But of course, he should have already had everyone should already have an attorney retained just in case
Absolutely.
something does happen. But we're not. I mean, we're all human. We're gonna. And if you really have it in your heart that you want to get out there and defend the Constitution, you know, I would if I could. I mean, I'm just too old.
You know what I think? You know what I think? I think what we need to start promoting more of is all of the public just doing a little piece. Instead of saying, hey, let me pick this person right here to go do it all the time. Always go cop watching, go cop watching, go cop watching, go cop watching. How about this? How about if you're an ordinary person coming home from going to get your takeout and you look over in the parking lot where you just picked up your order and you see 3 or 4 cop cars around just some dude in the parking lot, looks like he's laying on the ground. Get your camera out.
Yeah.
Stop. Get your camera out. They might need it. And that could go for both the police or the person on the ground. You never know. But that
Just
is
having a
something
little
that
bit of
we need.
empathy for other people. Yeah.
We
Not
need
everybody
to
has those
normalize
kind of
this.
balls.
All right, I got a question. Chris, I got to direct this one at you since you just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a hidden camera in my fucking car?
Most people need to have a dash cam for one. And then everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone.
That is exactly what happened today. And as we got in the car and I seen the cop cars surrounding them, I had my camera going. And as I passed by them, I hollered out the window, "Take your cameras out and start recording." They looked at me and they were like, "Gotcha." They pulled their phones out and started recording because the cops were actually searching their car. And then once I said that, the cop looked up, see me. I waved at him. He recognized me immediately, and then he just went back to his patrol car and said, "You can go."
Yeah, well, it needs to be normalized that we look out for each other and start at least witnessing, at the very least witness. Now, look, in court, you can be a human witness, and your testimony is worth this little teeny tiny bit. But if you are the same person who uses the exact same things you'd see with your eyeballs, but this time you hit the record button on that little device you call a telephone at the very same thing you're looking at, and you bring that to court, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that.
Because that recording does not have an opinion. That recording does not put feelings into what it is seeing.
Yep. It's objective.
I have half a problem though with this conversation, or with this segment anyway, is because I kept thinking about the money and the money and the money. I'm very money oriented. So basically, when you're fighting somebody, what's like the first thing that you attack is the money, and that's this court system is doing to us. Okay, that's one of their main that's one of their main
objectives.
Yeah, objectives, and they get away with a lot of the shit that they're doing because a lot of us in the auditing community don't have that kind of money, and the people we're asking to pick up the camera and do this and record their governments, they don't have that kind of money. You see what I'm saying? So what needs to happen is we like the chili fund, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's a great idea, but it needs to be on a broader spectrum. It needs to be in like a nonprofit that can help.
You know,
You see
that
what I'm
is such a
saying?
great point. My brother and I were talking about that just last night. Was the
Well,
liquidators? He's still in the
didn't you
audience.
try to create that at one point, Cliff?
Well, I wanted to, but man, I don't have the funds for. I mean, what I would like to do is it's like an insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
Everyone that's going to jump into the auditing community has to pay a monthly fee for this public nonprofit to hire attorneys that are going to be part of the nonprofit to defend them. And it's just strictly for 1A auditors and activists, people in that community.
Well,
It's
that's
like
what
an
I was.
insurance policy.
That's going to be a branch. That's going to be a branch in my nonprofit. It's going. The main goal is going to be for veterans that are getting screwed by the VA with charges and legal fees and that yada yada yada. But it's also going to be a constitutional thing that auditors can get on board with, and I think, you know, with the right people. See, you got to have a board. You got to have the legal knowledge. You have to have the lawyers on board. You have to have the
And
doctors.
all those people are going to get paid.
And you got to do the accounting. You got to do the budgeting. You got to have the.
And then on top of having to have all of that for your nonprofit, then you have to find lawyers, which we've all already seen. Number one, how much lawyers cost.
It's
Number
a huge
two,
task.
how hard is it to find a civil rights lawyer or.
We're working on it. We're Six Oaks and I are working on it. We're going to have a network of lawyers that they're going to be little mini Davids, and we're going to have paralegals and this and that, and eventually we'll have offices throughout the country on the one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, north, south, one in Texas.
Show me audits. I don't think what we're talking about would be illegal. Show that again, Nikki.
Well, the thing is, and I see where they're going with this. We're talking about going up against our government.
100%. I will.
We don't think that we're talking wrong. However, even though we're saying we need the lawyers, we need the doctors, we need the organization, the nonprofit organization. However, what we're saying is that this nonprofit organization is going to go up against the government and try and change the laws. If somebody wanted to, they could.
See, that's legal. Changed laws.
That's not illegal. That's part of our duties.
Exactly.
I want to hear what Nikki has to say. Let Nikki finish.
Sure.
But the RICO laws actually have it in there where what we are talking about is quote unquote treason. because we're talking about going against our government.
No, we're not talking about going against our government. Hold on,
We
wait.
are. Let's. We're not gonna. I'm not gonna mince words here. We are talking about that.
No, you are maybe, but I'm
Okay.
not.
Well, I will. I will, and I will take. Listen, I got the means and the money. Let them come to my fucking ass. Let them come to my doorstep. Put it all on me. Put it all on me. I do
Let
not.
me say what I'm trying to say real quick.
Changing the laws.
Let me say what I'm trying to
Changing
say.
law.
What I'm trying to say is this. You would have to be very specific about what you mean, not you, Vet, everybody I'm talking to, the whole panel here, the audience. You'd have to be very specific about what you mean when you say go up against. We're not trying to, I'm not out there trying to knock them upside the head and get them out and put them in a grave. You know, we're talking about things like affecting change through legislature. We're talking about petitioning. We're talking about protesting. We're talking about standing up to one who's telling me that I cannot do something that is lawful. You know, we're not saying we're going to fight our government. That's what was alleged in the discussion. You know,
that's what happened to the yeah exactly, and that's where the 3%ers went wrong. That's where the Oath Keepers went wrong. That's where those they went wrong because the proud you can't do that. I mean, we love our country. We want our government to be right. We don't want it to be tyrannical. We want it to change, and we want to use legal processes to make that happen. And setting up a nonprofit to help people affect change in a positive way to change our government, not overthrow it, I think is a good thing, and there's nothing illegal.
The only way that could become an illegal thing would be if it is to fund an illegal thing. It would have to be funding an illegal thing. The action itself would have to be illegal. It is not illegal to follow every law and try to make change within the government.
Right. Yep.
That's like J.J. Scarborough had filed charges on old Sarge, David Finkel, saying that he was in violation of organized crime. Well,
he's part of organized crime.
He thinks that YouTube community is an organization, right? And then since they oppose his liking of what he watches on YouTube, so that was an organized criminal syndicate, which is the actual definition. Now, no, because organized crime requires the syndicate to be committing a crime. It's not a crime.
Well, wouldn't he be guilty of it too? I mean, how can he's on? Isn't he on fucking YouTube making money also?
That's what he does, though, Angry Vet. He projects. He projects onto other people exactly what he is doing.
He's an idiot. He got that. I know exactly where he got that idea. He watches a lot of YouTube. Don't get it twisted. He fucking has seen just about all of our videos, guaranteed. Sits in there with his fucking thumb up his ass and watches YouTube all night long, even when he's at work. And he got that fucking case where there was 4 auditors. I can't even remember who it was, but there was 4 auditors in a car, and they were on a cop watch, and they were videotaping some cop or whatever from inside their car, and they put all of them on a RICO fucking charge because they were in a group.
Yeah, see that charge requires a crime. You know, it's not a crime to film from your car.
Sure, you know? But that goes back to the beginning. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a crime to be fucking hemmed up and have to fight that bullshit.
Right.
Especially when you don't have the money and you don't have the fucking means to defend yourself.
Yep. Yeah. And our government can twist anything any way they want to drum up stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and try to make people and use the media to run the false narrative about all that stuff. It's just sickening. It's
when the media plays ball, and they usually have a media connect, you know, of some sort.
Yeah.
Freddie might be one of my baby daddies. Just saying.
All right. Let me interrupt y'all real quick. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I got to get back to work. I was actually supposed to be in 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
So, Nikki, Cliff, Angry Vet, for Public Safety, Chris, have a good night. I'm going to jump back over to YouTube.
Thanks for
And
popping up, TV, and be sure and put his
remember,
link in the chat, folks.
make sure you share this video out. And Cliff, do your little finger thing. Let people know that they need to do something else. Come on.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good night, buddy.
You
And
too,
having
Chris.
said that, we are at 3 hours and 21 minutes, so we're gonna have to we're gonna have to end this, guys.
Oh,
I'm ready.
Hold on a minute. Do you know what 3 hours and 21 minutes is to me?
It's a long day.
My bedtime.
Yeah, your bedtime. Yeah. So what he was saying there was hit that like button, folks, and share and subscribe, and be sure and put Angry Vet's link in the chat. Subscribe to him and for Public Safety and Tyrants Beware as well.
If you're not sharing, you're not caring.
That's right.
I'm gonna bounce. Cliff, I love you.
I love
Nikki,
you too, brother.
Or Nikki, I love you.
I love you too, Angry Bat.
You're trying to figure out which direction to point.
Yeah. FPS. The jury's still out on you, motherfucker.
I know you too, man. Fucking
We love
felon.
you too, Angry Bet.
Love you guys.
Adios. Screenshot this mother.
All right, and having said that, I'm going to go ahead and play our intro, which is an outro and an intro, and we're going to call this a night. Everybody that's been in the chat, thank you so much for being here. And Nikki, have you got anything to say?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's, sat and listened, who's put their opinions out there. Like our banner says, none of us are lawyers. We're not offering legal advice. And all opinions stated are those of the person stating them. I want everyone to have a good night and everybody be safe out there.
All right, and Sunday we are going to be talking about our channel and what our goals are, and we're going to want some feedback from everyone. It's going to be an open panel. We're going to try to get more ideas of what we should really do with this channel, and so that we can affect change, helping the auditing community. And with that said, everyone have a wonderful rest of your night.